Welcome to the Irish NFL Show, live from Greco Studios on the north side of Dublin. Thank you for joining us as we watch the New England Patriots and the Houston Texans in the AFC Divisional Round. The Denver Broncos, of course, awaiting the winners of tonight's game for the AFC Championship game in just 1 week's time. This is our first ever playoff watch-along, and we couldn't be happier to have you with us for us alongside Shane Brennan and Brian O'Leary. I'm Conor Brophy, and Shane, your Patriots take to the field in just a couple of minutes' time. 8 divisional rounds in a row they've won. This is a team that's not used to losing at this stage. They're back. What it's going to take for them to get through tonight? Against
a team who, by the way, in their history have never made an AFC Championship game. I think they're the only team in the NFL to have not played at that stage. So it's an interesting meeting of two different histories coming against each other. Obviously, the Texans have only been around in 2002. But I think what really has to happen here, a lot of people have been putting a lot of stock into the weather in Foxborough. It's not quite snowing just yet, but I saw a lot of analysis this week as to whether a quarterback with smaller hands might be suited to the snow, as C.J. Stroud was. We saw him fumble a lot of a ball against the Pittsburgh Steelers during the week. I think fundamentally what the Patriots need is a really, really good game plan from Josh McDaniels. I mean, it has to come out from the start. The running game has to be strong, and Drake May has to be his MVP level self, because we've seen over the course of the season how strong he can be. But against the Chargers, you have to say it was a down game. Now, Drake May rarely follows a down game with another down game. So everything has to click here, because this Houston Texans defense is really, really something.
Brian, we saw last night with the Bills playing the Broncos how even a quarterback of the caliber of Josh Allen can be foxed by one of the NFL's better defenses. And Shane just talked about the impact of fumbles. That game ultimately came down to the Bills turning over the ball 5 times. You just cannot do that in a playoff game. The Houston Texans got away with it last weekend. Surely they won't get away with it if that's what happens. Ball security very much is job security in this.
It's not the norm, is it, to see a team go into a playoff game, have 5 turnovers and still be there going into overtime with an opportunity to win the game. It's unheard of. And yeah, Texans last week, first half turnovers. CJ Stroud hasn't been turning the ball over that manner, that normative times over the course of the season, that they can't get away. They won't be able to get away if they turn ourselves in a situation. But at the same time, Texans defense will seek turnovers of their own. They're like arguably the best defense in the league. They're on a huge unbeaten run. So a lot of people feel that defense win championships. Why can't this Texans team go into Foxborough and find a way to navigate a performance and turn them over?
Shane, we're just hearing the last strains of the Star Spangled Banner here. I can see the glint in your eye there. You can't wait for this, can you? But the thing that's mouthwatering about this, I guess, both from a Patriots and a Texans perspective, is such drama last night. We learned just after the game had ended, there was a second podium appearance by Sean Payton, the Broncos coach, to give the press an update after that game ended. And we learned at that point that Drake May is now out for the rest of the season. So whoever wins this game is expecting to go to Santa Clara for the Super Bowl.
And that's the thing. I mean, it's funny when people look at a playoff game and say this is a must-win territory, as if any other option is good for your season. But I think in the context of really being able to take your chance to go in the window and make it to the Super Bowl, knowing the fact that the Denver Broncos, because they have no run game to speak of, really. I know Jarrett Stidham is going to be playing a quarterback next week for the Broncos.
They've no run game, and they couldn't stop the run to save their lives last night. The Bills, who admittedly have the best rushing attack in the NFL, just ran roughshod over them. James was very much cooking, and the Patriots certainly would lick their chops at the idea of sending Travion Henderson through the gaps that the Bills' offensive line were able to make in that Broncos front.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I mean, obviously trying to keep all their players fed. I don't want to jump too far ahead in terms of like previewing next week's game. You're
a Patriots fan, of course you want to jump ahead. You have that 7th Lombardi already polished and in the trophy cabinet in Gillette Stadium.
I feel like a Kerry fan talking about the All-Ireland quarterfinals right now. As you know, people like, do we really need to watch this? We know for a fact we're going to be in next week. Of course, the era now is different than it was in the Brady era. But I mean, if the run game is strong, as we have seen with Henderson and Stevenson, who was unlike Cooks last night, who gave up a fumble in a key situation and has given up a lot of fumbles over the course of the year. Stevenson had a fumble problem at the start of the year, doesn't have a fumble problem now. Now, famous last words, he'd probably end up giving away 2 balls tonight now that I've said that. But from a Patriots point of view, that's definitely a strength which can be pushed forward if we go into Mile High next week. But I'm not counting any chickens just yet. We still have to get this job done.
He's thinking ahead. You can see it.
He already has the parade booked. He's already got his ticket to the parade in Boston to see them bring the trophy home. Brian, the other game last night, we saw the Seahawks just rinse the 49ers which is actually something you predicted, in fairness to you. So I'll give you your flowers. The Seahawks just ran roughshod over them. It was what we expected from the Seahawks defense. The Niners just couldn't get anything going. Yeah. They weren't allowed to get anything going. The Seahawks did everything they wanted right from the opening kickoff. I mean, that game appeared to me to be over after about 2 minutes.
It's interesting over the last 3 weeks that we've had 2 games in which have come so quickly back to back. Packers, Bears, late in the season, they play each other in the wildcard round, and within a fortnight, you have the Seahawks hosting the 49ers. I said it on the show on Thursday when we were doing a preview, Conor. I know you were kind of a little bit unsure whether this result and the magnitude of the performance from the Santa Clara final game of the season could be repeated, but the 49ers, with all due respect, have had a great season in the manner of which Kyle Shanahan coached them. I've seen some people suggesting today it should be his time. I mean, this team...
That's a joke. That's a joke. Like, he absolutely should be in the final running for Coach of the Year for what he's done with that team. They had, and I mean this with the greatest of respect to them, no business being in the divisional round of the playoffs. They were absolutely running on empty. They were past empty. Yeah. And the players still were flying around. D. Winters defensively had an absolutely brilliant game. Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy did everything they could. They're just overmatched. Like, that Seahawks team, if you look at the 3 games against the 49ers over the course of this season, as we're just seeing the opening kick out fielded and a knee in the end zone. So the Patriots will take possession and they will start at their own 35. Brian, just to finish that point though, the Seahawks kept the Niners to 2 field goals in that game. There was 1 field goal in the second game. Like, over the course of 3 games, the Niners finished up with, let me just add that up, 22 points. You wouldn't win 1 game of football scoring 22 points on an average week. It just goes to show how good that Seahawks defense is against the Niners offense that we know when they have a head of steam can pour it on you.
Yeah, I think it's become clearly evident over the last 4 to 5 weeks how effective this defense of the Seahawks has become. And obviously we have the additional NFC Divisional Round game to come later this evening. It's going to be a hard task, whoever comes out of that game. I know the Rams ran them very close on that Thursday night game a few weeks back. So maybe that's the game everyone will look to see. Can the Rams, I suppose, turn it over? But right now, it's difficult to see who's going to beat the Seahawks. But this is the one that we're going to focus on now. Yeah.
Action underway, of course, in Foxborough. The Patriots ran on first down. Shane, one of the things we're going to be looking very closely at is the left side of this Patriots line, where we saw Will Campbell have a very rough outing last week, their rookie left tackle, who's had a really good season. Incomplete.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have an all-rookie left side, and this is the thing about the Patriots offensive line. It has been in itself inconsistent, but I think the quality of defense at the face have also been inconsistent as well. So it hasn't necessarily faced the same level of scrutiny as other offensive lines. Campbell has definitely improved over the course of the season, but that injury that kept him out of the month of December, I think he's definitely took him a lot more time to get back into rhythm. Was that, look, last week was his first game back after his first injury as part of an NFL squad. He's still learning that aspect of it. But I think the key is the level to which Drake May will be able to run away from any defenders attacking on that side, was going to be very, very difficult. Even again, look, that's 3 plays that the Patriots have had here. They've gone 3 and out. So the Houston defense getting a nice early start. Run play, found it very difficult to get anywhere. Pass play, found it very difficult to get anywhere. Interesting that the Patriots are already trying to go for the quick plays in the start. I mean, look, we know trying to go for glory too early it can be a recipe for disaster. You don't want to give the Houston defense any reason to get on top early for some sort of pick 6 or anything. But that was unusually conservative start, I think, from the Patriots trying to get something in the game here. As who was that making the return here? Speed.
Naturally, he didn't have so much speed there. Yeah, Conor, I just wanted to make a quick point. Sorry, you said it during the week about when the Steelers turned over.
You don't have to make a quick point. We have 3 hours. You can take all the time you want.
Okay, well then, what I was going to say, the similarity of that particular drive, I know it's the opening drive of the game, but you talked about on Thursday night when they did turn over, the Steelers defense turned over and the Steelers offense went to work and they got, 8 yards on I think it was over the course of like 10 or 12 plays. They just couldn't move the ball efficiently. Straight away, we're seeing the Texans defense. Like, this is the perfect start for the Texans in the sense of let the Patriots have the ball. Let's see, can we shut them down early, and let's see what we can do offensively.
So interesting to see what the Texans can do.
Play action on first down. That's a terrible miss.
Again, but it was open for him there, but it just wasn't accurate. And this is the main hope for the Patriots fans have had all week this week. Like, CJ Stroud just has a flat out bad game. We know Nico Collins is out with the concussion, which is he's not going to be there. He's been by far their most efficient receiver over the course of the season. We know Kirk last week was the main star, but that play was just
that's a cold ball throw right there.
Yeah.
You were talking just before the game about quarterbacks with small hands. He just could not grip that ball, palm it properly to get it out there. I mean, this CJ Stroud is one of the most, and on his day, the most accurate quarterback in the league. You don't expect him to miss throws like that. That's a pure weather impact right there.
And it's the thing, I mean, people always talk about dome teams, and in the larger context, the fact that more and more teams seem to be moving into a dome. We talk about Chicago, Cleveland, places like that. And it's the effect it has on football. You can argue as to whether it is a better spectacle, but certainly for quarterbacks like this, they much prefer to be, interception.
It off.
No.
Oh, so
But Kirk couldn't quite hold on to the ball there. And again, that's I don't know if that's a cold throw, but there's a cold attempt at a catch.
It's not a cold. That's not a cold weather situation, surely. Like that's like he's got. That's
come on, like he was going straight to his chest. He couldn't have asked for a better pass
in the
there.
breadbasket. He should be picking that in. But in this back to the conversation, Connor, you said during the week around, do the Texans have enough offensively outside of CJ Stroud to win this game in the sense of they've lost Nico Collins with concussion? That's like in a playoff game of this magnitude, you've got to be catching that ball.
We looked at them last season, and when they had signed Stephon Diggs at that stage and said they were tooling up and they were ready to make a run. I remember Kieran Boyle, our friend and colleague on the show, rhapsodizing about what the Texans have done and the unit that they put together and what they might be capable of doing. But this year they look like a diminished version of that offense, and it's frustrating watching. And you know, I'm sure in that locker room, the defensive players must be thinking, there is nothing more that we could be doing to make this happen, guys. We will hold you in any game. You got to put us over the top here. Like, this is our shot.
Yeah. Sure.
So there's another point when it comes to the defense. We talk about how great this defense is, but if the Patriots end up having a time possession where it's like 35, 40 minutes compared to 20, then the defense is going to end up being ground out anyway. So the offense, both drives have been guilty of the same thing, and they've been 3 and out. They've been very quick. You don't exactly giving your defense any time to sort of rest or even sort of plan ahead for what's happening next. But I mean, the Houston defense was sitting there watching those 2 drop passes, but especially the second one there by Kirk, and saying, come on here. Like, we know we're going to have a very tough job against Drake May, who is an MVP candidate. We can argue as to whether he is or is not the MVP, but you know, like, I just don't know. It is a frustrating thing. And look, time possession is going to be key here. And in order to do that, you need to have a run game that's solid. You can sort of even just to get are you 3rd and 2, you can get over the line just about. And that is an area where the Patriots are currently better than the Texans, and the Texans will need to be cleaner.
Based on those first 2 offensive sets that I've just watched there, Brian, I'm worried if I'm a Texans fan, because the Patriots are looking at it going, we'll settle into this game. We know what we're about. The Texans, you're looking at this going, come on, like, we got to take advantage of these opportunities. Yeah. We're on the road. You know, we know the defense can hold us in. They've just forced a 3 and out, and we get nothing. And it's not because of anything that the Patriots did. It's because of just poor play.
Execution. Poor execution. Not necessarily the fact that they have to go out and score in the opening drive. There's many a playoff game where you don't score. It's more about control the ball, control the clock, put our guys on the field, and just give the guys, like, didn't necessarily need a breather now, but in the longevity of 4 quarters, they're going to need to be off the field as much as possible to put them back on the field so quickly. But another thing is you want to try to put yourself in a position where you want to play from ahead. Allow your defense to go pin their ears back, go after Drake May once they have a lead. Look, it's early.
Well, this is why they say defense travels well. Like one of the great old playoff saws here, that because you get yourself into a lead, then you can be conservative and you can run the ball, and you know that your defense is going to be able to hang in there and hang in the clinches and keep you in it.
Yeah, but one of the key things that we saw last night, what happened between the Bills and the Broncos, the Bills made a lot of unforced errors that the Broncos were able to capitalize on. 13 points by early in the 3rd quarter that the Broncos had scored off the back of Bills' mistakes and Bills' turnovers. That is not an unforced error that the Patriots can punish necessarily because they're dropped passes, but they're unforced errors nevertheless. So both of these teams are going to try and make sure that if something is going to go against them, that it's because the other team has been forcing them into making mistakes or letting the ball go, as opposed to just flat out dropping the ball. Here we go with Stevenson on the play here. That's the one thing which actually, over the course of the season, Josh McDaniels has been really good at scheming that we didn't see with the Drake May offense last year. And that when he comes into that situation where he takes maybe 2 or 3 steps back from the offensive line, his option A is generally trying to find one of the receivers, but there's always a running back right in front of him with enough space and protection that he can just dump it off to. That has been really effective. They've always come back to that. Some people have said it's a bit of a crutch for Drake May's offense. I think it's definitely a feature that has been used in a way that has been really efficient. Stevenson again running on the right-hand side
for breaking off here.
already into Houston territory.
But those plays are really key because then you're putting yourself in short yards. A 2nd and 1. I mean, you can pick many a play. You can go fake handoff, draw play. Obviously, there they gone out in the perimeter. What did you pick up? 15, 20 yards there, give or take?
Yeah, about that. Just want to give a shout out, by the way. We're coming to you live on the Irish NFL Show YouTube. Make sure you comment underneath and let us know what you think. There's plenty of comments coming in for here as well. Graham is saying 2 very nervous looking teams from the very start. Look, I guess it is the playoffs. Both of these are very young squads. Nerves, I guess, can be expected from early on in. Lukey was saying, my Niners did great last night, which of course, look, the Seahawks, I guess, probably would have demolished anybody.
They held the Seahawks under 50 and fair play to them for doing that.
I think Luke, in fairness, I think Luke has been saying for quite some time that it was the upheaval of a team that has missed so many players, and inevitably they win again.
Heroic efforts. And one of the things I thought watching that game, and I'd be interested in your take on this, Brian, is you're looking at teams like, for me, the Baltimore Ravens, and going, look what the 49ers did. You guys are sitting at home moaning about, injuries kept us out. Like, these guys patched it and made do and mended and schemed, and the players came to play and got them to the divisional round of the playoffs. They did everything that they could with what was available to them. There's other teams sitting at home who have more talent available to them than the Niners did and should not be watching.
I don't know what you have to say. The Ravens, kind of like the head coach there is now the head coach in situ in New York. Could you not refer to any other team who were banged up with injuries over the course of the season? Look, Kyle Shanahan is a fantastic head coach. I know we spoke about it on another piece of content around the fact that he's been suggested as a head coach that could be under fire. I mean, absolutely ludicrous conversation.
Ridiculous.
They were always going to be out of depth last night. I said blowout spot on the show during the week. Interesting here behind the chains, 3rd and 14.
Always hitting his that's Diggs there. This is another opportunity for a Diggs revenge game. We saw probably his best performance of the year being in Buffalo. Some really nice plays. That was the sort of
seems to be seeking
game.
A lot of revenge games, isn't he?
Well, if anything that gets you G'd up to go for it, I'm happy to take. He almost should be revenging his performance last week. He was pretty quiet last week against the Chargers. So interesting to see. He was again leading the team to try and pump them up. The new slogan, I don't know. This is the new version of actually, this is the 4th and 1, so let's focus on this here first.
Let's see what happens. What are they dialing up here, Shane? Call the play for us.
This one 28 yards out, so I don't know. This looks like to me like trying to catch him off sides. No, never mind. I'm not Tony Romo. I can't call these.
Throw for it. Oh, he's got it. He's in. Good boy.
Pop Douglas. Touchdown for the Patriots. Right over the middle on a 4th and 1. That's a really, really sweet play. And they're going for 1 on this.
I'd be a bit concerned that you're going for 2 this early.
Well, I don't know. Maybe against it's just Houston defense, you have to take as much as you can get. But it's interesting, Connor, because when we were here a couple of weeks ago, we watched this Houston team play against the Indianapolis Colts. And we were saying, look, maybe it's the end of the regular season. It's a very, very different situation what's happening here. But we felt that once you got over that front line of defense, which you know that Houston's very good at, you can find space. And that's exactly what's happened here. Josh Daniels, again, using Drake May's ability to pass within the numbers to get him right over to the middle to Pop Douglas. And he had lots of room down the middle channels, as we've seen, I think, a couple of times with this Houston defense. That is the one weakness that they have, which people can.
You took the word right out of my mouth. This is not a game where you want to be thrown outside the numbers. And you might be tempted to use Drake May's ability to get outside the pocket and throw to the perimeter. But that's not going to work against this Texans team. Like, I have rarely seen a collection of defensive backs as good at what Houston have. Like, there's nobody that you could be confident throwing on. Not Stingley, not Lassiter, not Bullock. These guys are ball hawks. They've frightening speed. They're plastered all over their guys on pretty much every snap. So you got to take what the defense gives you. And Josh McDaniels is about as good an offensive coordinator as we have ever seen in the NFL at doing that.
But here's the key that I think they've managed to use very well in this instance, and be interesting to see whether that is sustainable as the game goes. When Houston decide to blitz, one of the strengths of Drake May is that he's able to get the ball out really quickly. He doesn't take a lot of sacks because A, he's decent scrambling, but B, he just gets the ball in the right place very, very quickly. He doesn't spend too much time dithering like we see Justin Fields at the Jets, for example.
Well, it's what we saw from Brock Purdy last night. Like, Brock Purdy's average time to throw against the Seahawks was over 4 seconds, Brian. They kept the ball in his hands. They weren't giving them anything, and they just ruthlessly hunted him down. That's exactly what the Texans will want to do tonight, but yet so far have not been able to do because, as Shane said, he's getting the ball out there quickly, and Josh McDaniels getting quick checkdowns and intelligently scheming to get guys open in those short and intermediate situations and just keep the ball moving. Rely on yards after the catch to get you where you want to go.
Yeah, I think the biggest play on the drive is the 3rd down. I know we're talking about a 4th down play, 4th and 1, as they're taking an aggressive manner and going for it, and ultimately results in a touchdown. But bear in mind, the Texans got them behind the chains on 2 plays there, 3rd and 14, to pick up 13 yards essentially on the back end of a third down play. But you called it there. You're talking about them going out on the perimeter and not going after Stingley and other players. Yeah, they'll take you want to go zone in the middle. We'll take those yards, and that's something what they did there. Allowed them to put themselves in that position. They were always going to go for it on 4-1. This is playoff football. Not going to accept field goals. Aren't going to win. Well, they might win. Like, this is the thing with now Texans offense. They've been in a position where field goals have allowed them to stay in games. Now they're going to have to chase touchdowns. What we see, did he open up the playbook slightly?
I wonder also, do the weather conditions or will they affect that? I mean, your decision as to whether to kick or not or go on fourth and short may well be dictated by, like, our 50-plus yard field goal is going to be achievable in these kind of conditions. It doesn't look great for kickers, so you may actually be better off rolling the dice and for once relying on what the analytics tells you to do.
You also have to, do you trust your defense if in that situation on the 28-yard line, if you don't get that force down, do you allow your defense to come back on the field with CJ Stroud? The way in which the Texans played on the open drive, still early.
Even there, to the point we're making about, all right, the quality of the D-backs, and it's a nice pass and a great run after the catch, but they're so close to just breaking up that play. Like, they're right where they need to be on most plays. And yeah, as you say, if you're getting into third and long or fourth and short and having to make decisions, like, as you say, the Texans will want to put you there, and you can't rely on converting that all game long. Oh, it looked like he was going to have a decent run back there.
Berrios, I think he's a former Jet, probably enjoying his time more with the Texans than he was.
Dolphin as well.
That's right, yeah.
Shane, the longer this one goes on, I mean, already this is looking like an important drive for the Texans. They're all important drives in the playoffs, but you do not want to be going 2 possessions behind. You got to keep in this one, because the Patriots defense, as we saw last week against the Chargers, can pin its ears back. You don't want to be in a situation where you're forcing CJ Stroud to throw, and conversely, the Patriots absolutely want them to have to do that so they can go after him.
But here's the thing. I mean, CJ Stroud in his rookie year, I think, built up a bit of an identity as being somebody who is able to lead these comeback victories. We saw a significant amount of them actually in his rookie year, as part of the reason why I, among as many other observers, are like, oh, this is really good. This guy has got a really, really good future. That's not been the way it has played out currently for the Texans. They've very much been a defense first, control the game, and find the ways to get over in tight situations. It's a lot like the Bears being almost an extreme example right now as a team who can get all of these comfort behind victories and have that sort of, not even clutch gene, but just the ability to bounce back against all adversity as part of who they are as a football team. Houston has controlled the games too much to be forced into a situation where they've had to be forced to go ahead. Almost picked off there by Gabe Davis.
That ball is not where it needs to be.
No. And it was he's
got to lead the receiver there. He's left the D-back a play on the ball there.
He's got to put the ball on the outside of Higgins, where it's either an incomplete pass. I know it's an incomplete pass, but the Patriots players got in to break it up.
You put it on him to make a play.
Perimeter and allow him to go and take that ball in. In fact, he did a job there to make sure it wasn't intercepted.
Yeah, it'd be interesting now to see if they do it again, because going down the middle, you know, they've had guys dropping passes. They've gone for a shot down the wing here. There's a big third down, which is, you know, but what?
That's nice.
That's really, really sleek.
Composure in the pocket, kept going.
That's a lot of room. That's a lot of room.
Yeah, that's Stroud there,
as we said, no quarterback in the league is playing better than CJ Stroud right now. What a play. What a pro.
It's amazing how reactionary we get in these things. Oh my God, he's so good. That was, in fairness,
we never said we were anything other than fickle.
In fairness, man, like we've seen this, I think, from a couple of the quarterbacks over the course. I mean, the ability to just see what's in front of you and just improvise. They just saw the most open man in the field and give.
This is what I've been watching all season from Caleb Williams, a guy who dirts easy passes and then does something great when he's on the move and plays out of structure. Actually,
it's Caleb, and I was writing about Caleb and the Bears over the course of the week for this weekend's paper, and that's the kind of thing that Caleb's been great at. It's, you know, when you have to dance, who you hit into. That was exactly the kind of play that we've seen from Stroud there. And look, this is I'll be honest with you, even if the Patriots somehow manage to go to like 10-0 up, which I'm not expecting, by the way. I'm trying not to be you know, I'm not taking anything for granted or anything like that.
You want them to go 10-0 up, but just hold fire there while the Texans drive.
I'm saying if you were talking earlier about the
crowd who got into it there as well, Conor. That's a false start. You know, that's all down to the
very nice, nicely done. With 3 defenders around Higgins there. That was a nicely done.
Just jumping back to that big play. I think the important piece was the awareness that he He moved out of the pocket. He moved himself forward, gave himself just that extra second to find a player. That was huge.
But I mean, he really does look like he's warming up here. I don't want to overdo or spam this point about the weather, but it does seem to have taken him a little bit aback on that first drive. I don't think he was quite at the pitch of it. Seems to be easing into it now.
Would you call that snow or sleet? Actually, I have friends over there at the game. Sorry. I mean, exciting moment there. I'm professional here.
Tip balls and overthrows. You got to have those. That's what the defense says, right? That one was in play.
Yeah, very much so.
Connor, I hope we don't get a Scott Hansen repeat. If you recall that particular time he was on the Sky Sports coverage during the playoff divisional round game, in fact, I think it was where the Vikings beat the Saints for that walk-off touchdown.
Minneapolis Miracle. He
happened to be in the studio with the Sky Sports team, and of course he was celebrating. He obviously showed the coverage thereafter where he was jumping around the room just with the excitement of the play itself. Maybe that's what we'll get out of Shane later on. If this game comes down to the wire.
No cheering in the press box, Shane. No cheering in the press box.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Nobody noticed, by the way, I'm wearing a navy shirt and silver.
No, I did. The first thing I said to when I arrived. That's why I said I wear navy as well.
I'm in team colours. Team colours for both teams.
First reception by Christian Kirk there, who had a massive game last week, 144 yards, ran up and down the field, was the Texans' offense and was the outlet for Stroud last week. And I don't know, Shane, toss from you. This is starting to look more like the Texans' offense when it's functioning properly. I know it's only a couple of plays, and one swallow doesn't make a summer, one reception doesn't make a playoff win, but this is not what you want to be seeing, right?
But even look at the passes which were dropped in the first drive that we were talking about earlier. What have they been able to do? They're able to find space inside the numbers and just pick off their man. That's what they're able to get here with that pass to Kirk. They were able to get it earlier with the pass to Schultz. Trying to go for these deep shots down the wing isn't necessarily where it's going.
There's a dirty face mask. That's Mike Vrabel's Patriots. You were actually calling this out last week.
I said this. The Patriots were had so many face mask penalties that just weren't called last week against the Chargers. It was actually even I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning and be like, this is ridiculous how many the Patriots are getting away with. They're not getting away with them now, so be interested to know how many more they get called for.
It is a huge flag. 15 yards. It puts them in a position now they can try run the ball effectively here.
This is 4 down territory for Houston as well.
It's not 4 down territory. This early in the game?
I think it is.
No,
7 yards. 7 yards away from.
You just hate teams going for it on 4th down, Brian. You're such a traditionalist.
Really, you should have hired Mike Tomlin instead of Harbaugh.
Take the points, lads.
Well, I'll give you. Sorry, Connor. I'll give you one. What score did the Jacks lose last week? They lost by 3 points. Did they have an opportunity to kick a field goal and go 10-3 up? They didn't. Those 3 points could have put the game into overtime.
Two words. Philly special. That's how you win games in the playoffs. Go for it.
Are you trying to get at them because they beat the Patriots in that game?
Well, that too. I thought I killed 2 birds with the one stone there.
Was that a bird's joke as well? Enough time has passed for that one. Oh, Schultz is now within a yard of scoring a touchdown.
Connor, now I would say it's 4th down territory because they're literally a yard out. Prior to that, if they got stopped 3 times in a row,
is Stroud too small to touch push? Is this where you put the tight end in and try and shove him over?
The Texan touch push. What's the difference between a Texan touch push and a Philadelphia touch push? I wonder. Or a Buffalo touch push as they've had to rely on.
They don't call it. They have a particular name for it as well.
Buffalo.
Like Seahawks have their tight end doing it. They have a particular.
Well, they have AJ Barner going in those plays.
I think they call it the barn door or something.
My personal favorite was the Steelers one where Aaron
the barn door. That we call it. I think Ben would be able to confirm on that.
Ooh,
there we go.
Flag on the play. So
is that a hold?
I don't know. They seem to be telling D'Amico Ryan to stop celebrating.
Neutral zone infraction. That's what I'm calling. Neutral zone infraction. Neutral zone infraction.
No, illegal shift.
Oh, that's a backbreaker. Oh,
yep. So what is the penalty on illegal shift?
5 yards.
5 yards.
5 yards.
It's still in 4 down territory. I think we're in 4th down. It's third and goal still. So I don't know.
Changes the whole dynamic of the play call now. On 3rd down, you're essentially going back 6 yards. You're going to put yourself in a throwing position, a throwing play now, surely.
So interesting to know what play call they go for here.
He doesn't reset.
Oh, it's very close. Good call though.
Referees are on between the face masks and the illegal shifts. There's a Coppers joke in there somewhere. So here we go.
The Patriots definitely don't want vigilant refs.
No. Thrown into space. I think I was smart by Stroud actually just to sort of get rid of the ball there. I mean,
because you're a Patriots fan, or
no, I'm trying to be professional here. Well, for now, and then by the second half, I'm just going to go full. I have a Brewski and an Edelman jersey.
But it's a real frustration, isn't it? You've found the way into the end zone and you get called on a flag, and now you're.
This is why I think it's
throwing aside.
I
am kicking the field goal here. Like I just don't think they have the momentum at this point. Like you take,
you lose the momentum off that
live to
particular
fight
play,
another, because it's pretty morale sapping if you come away with no points after this.
Be interesting to know.
Yeah.
Nicely done. So 7 points to 3 in favor of the Patriots. So look, again, the Patriots drive has to be significant here. I mean, like a 3 and out on your own 35-yard line, it just puts a hot Houston Texans offense back on the field pretty quickly. Even if there's no score coming from this, the Patriots need to stay on the field, I think, for a decent chunk of time, because otherwise the momentum is just going to go one way, and that's not New England's way. So I think
two flags by the Texans on that drive, Connor. Like a false start, and obviously you have the illegal shift. The crowd are into it. This is the thing. It's a difficulty when you go on the road in the playoffs. You're trying to find you need to navigate against the crowd as much as you do. It wasn't Sean Payton said last night or during the week, don't be getting ready for the play from a crowd perspective as they're going into the huddle. I want the crowd going as they're walking onto the field.
Yeah.
Saw it very early on. The communication piece was off last night. Josh Allen, early timeout called, had to go and check the helmet. This is the thing, this is why you want the 1 seed. This is why you want these divisional round. As you'll know tonight, when the Bears step on the field, tonight at Soldier Field, the crowd will be well up for it. It'll be interesting to see what Matthew Stafford and Crook and how they're going to manage that situation.
Well, and here's the question, actually, because we talked so much, and maybe it's slightly different now that they've warmed up a bit about the impact that the weather is having on Houston, a dome team coming from a hot state. Now the Rams are coming in Chicago. It's going to be considerably colder in Chicago than it currently is in Foxborough. LA, again, a dome team in a warm state. Do you think that would have an effect on Matt Stafford? Because I just feel like the way we talk with the Rams is different than the way we talk with the Texans.
I completely agree. He's played in the NFC North. He played for the Lions. He's played in Soldier Field every year for the first 10 years of his career. It's not like the guy has never seen snow before or hasn't played in a cold weather environment. I know Stafford is a Texan kid. I think it's the adjustment from week to week. Like, obviously it's jarring coming from LA and into that, but didn't seem to affect the Rams too badly at Lincoln Financial Field when they ran the Eagles so close in the divisional round this time last year. I mean, these guys, they're probably the most complete team in the league. It actually kind of worries me from a Bears perspective that there's been so much focus on the weather that seems to be the factor that a lot of people are leaning on as the thing that will win it from the Bears rather than anything they might do on the field. Now, I suppose from an X's and O's perspective, that Bears running game has to be added, and you can see that adding a lot of value in an environment where it's not going to be very easy to throw the ball. But we've seen Caleb Williams manage it pretty well, throwing some absolute darts in the most horrific conditions against the Packers in 2 games at Soldier Field. Probably not quite as cold as we're going to see today, but we saw a particularly windy game when they played the last time at Soldier Field, where balls were flying all over the place. But I don't see it being that much of a factor.
Did you ever see the highlights of the windiest game? Naturally, in the windy city, like the windiest game in history. There was some regular season game in 2000 between the Bears and the Niners. I think it ended up like 10-6 or something like this. But every time a kick was hit, it just went gone.
You know, the name Windy City has nothing to do with the weather conditions in Chicago. It's because of politics. It's windy as in wind from politicians. It's actually not a particularly windy location in comparison to other cities in the US.
I thought because of all the skyscrapers there, plus the fact that it's on the banks of Lake Michigan, that also like funneled the air into the streets.
There is a lake effect wind. That's absolutely a factor, but it's not called the Windy City because of the weather.
Oh, that's interesting.
See, not only are you doing a great live show, you're actually learning on the go.
I'll tell you, we're learning about the city of Chicago.
Every day's a school day.
Shout out, by the way, to the Irish NFL Show tour, Irish NFL Show /tours if you're interested in going next year. We don't know where it's going yet. Of course,
it could be right here at Foxborough. We could be going to Foxborough.
It could be right here, or it could be in the Windy City. So a lot of people are interested in.
And Connor will be on site for a tour guide.
I'll be there to answer all your Windy City questions. Tell you where the best deep dish in Chi-Town is. Don't you?
So you'll be able to tell us about why they put the W and the L flags in Wrigley Field to try and tell the drivers of the L train.
I'll tell you about the curse of the goat and everything. We can get all into that.
My favorite American sporting curse, other than the curse of Bambino, which is of course broken by the Red Sox in 2004, is the curse of Billy Penn. Did you ever hear the curse of Billy Penn?
I have not heard.
So the curse of Billy Penn was that no Philadelphia sports team would win as long as the tallest building in the world when it was built was I think it's the Philadelphia City Hall in the middle, which has a big statue of Billy Penn, who Pennsylvania is named after, on top. That was always the tallest building in Philadelphia till they start building a lot of skyscrapers. And when the skyscrapers were built, no Philadelphia team won any like the Phillies, the Flyers, the Sixers, or the Eagles did not win any major championships. So what happened? The newest, tallest building that was built there, the Comcast Center, I think, was there. And somebody went into a gift shop and bought a little thing of Billy Penn, put it right at the top. That summer, the Phillies won the World Series. So
that's a great story.
These curses, I think, there's definitely something in them.
It's gold.
It's not a Mayo course now, kind of. It wouldn't be
not at that level.
Wouldn't be at that level.
But when you talk about that, I mean, watching Josh Allen in the post-game pressers yesterday and watching Deion Dawkins, their offensive lineman, like I had a lump in my throat watching both of those guys. Like it's tough watching a Bills team. They've had so much heartache. It's so many playoff games.
Ball out. 3rd and 10 here. The
Patriots
Drake May had to come back and make. And this is exactly what
the Patriots have just about gone.
So the Patriots got under the ball, but even then the punt is coming from really, really far back in their own territory. By the time the Texans get the ball back, it will be at best on their own 40-yard line. This is what I was saying earlier about the importance of a good drive here in terms of not giving the Houston offense. Yeah, the ball is out there. That's a really, really good tackle by Daniil Hunter.
Yeah, they're going to have to end up like. Unfortunately for the Texans, everyone's scrambling around trying to get hold of the ball. Patriots are going to punt out their own end zone. It's going to be great field position now for the Texans. Here we go.
Yeah. Ooh, so the punt goes out of the end zone. Ooh, very close. Yeah. By the time the Texans get the ball back, they're going to get it into Patriots territory.
Midfield,
easily. Yeah. So about the 47-yard line. This is a huge momentum thing. I mean, you know, if you're going on the ESPN analytics, like you're heading towards the score being 10-7 by the time this drive is done. And this is what I was saying earlier. I mean, momentum, like the Patriots have relied a lot on offensive momentum, in that they will pick usually there's one half where they're particularly strong. Quite often they've actually been a first half team. They had to be a second half team last week against the Chargers. I think that play is a significant blowback to Patriots' chances here.
Is there a more accurately named player in the NFL than Daniil Hunter? What a great example of nominative determinism.
Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, even just like the wherewithal to make sure that you went with the left hand to go in there, and he didn't even actually hit Drake May's arm. It was straight on the ball. Talking about going for the ball there, which I feel like has been a bit of a trend this year. More and more defenders, when they're going in for these tackles, they're going for the ball more so than they're going for arms or for everything. They're really getting good at sort of putting the punch in there.
Seahawks, I noticed in particular, seem to be absolutely like tackling very differently to a lot of other teams. Like it's all
the velocity of those tackles is just it's going to remind you of the Legion of Boom type model. Just interesting, you're talking about that. Hunter, Anderson, the best twosome together in the entire league. We see so many teams defensively have a great pass rusher, you know, in isolation, standout player. There's only maybe a handful of teams that have two marquee players. You look at the Texans, you think back to that trade in that draft where they took CJ Stroud initially, came immediately back up the tree and took Anderson, and people were questioning. But in a time when the GM was under a lot of pressure, and he went and done that.
Again, I know
changed the whole franchise around. But
what changed the franchise around obviously was getting rid of Deshaun Watson. Like, look, like how two paths diverged in a forest there. Like they send Watson to Cleveland with that crazy contract for. Let's not talk about Deshaun Watson and the kind of man he is, but the draft picks that went back the other way have transformed the Houston Texans, like that and hiring D'Amico Ryans, which obviously was the other big factor in it. I mean, we were looking at that saying, oof, that's a long rebuild job. And then boom, they hit draft pick after draft pick after draft pick. That's what you could do with that capital.
It's funny in that particular piece, because you look at GMs who have managed to keep their jobs this offseason, and Joe Shane being a prime example, and people are suggesting they've been at literally the death's door in terms of potentially losing their job. And yet within 2 or 3 years, they somehow miraculously have these big moments where they do a trade or they do the draft and it all comes together. Like Caserio was under extreme pressure. There was a lot of suggestions that he was on his way out there, and now he's
well, you were talking about the Niners earlier and Kyle Shanahan. What about John Lynch, the GM? Disastrous trade up for Trey Lance. They effectively ended up giving up 2 first-round picks for Trey Lance. Where is Trey Lance now? Like backup quarterback for, I can't even remember which.
The Chargers.
I'll tell you somebody as well as that. I mean, somebody who has been consistently sort of a squad builder in Seattle, but somebody I think has done a good job as well as John Snyder. I mean, look at even just the pick for Raheed Shaheed, who ended up being sort of the main star.
Unfortunate new nickname courtesy of ESPN's Mina Kimes. You heard that one?
No.
Schneider was seen celebrating in the box. He was lifted up his arms. He's wearing the blue shirt and he had the big sweat patches. So Mina Kimes is calling him Pitman. Very mean. It's not so mean.
But she's a Seahawks fan as well. It's almost like it's Seattle on Seattle grime there. Big opportunity now for Stroud.
But the one thing about Snyder over the course of the last 3 or 4 years, he just seems to be able to evaluate exactly what to do at the right time. The Russell Wilson trade, when it took place, was humongous. Everyone thought the Broncos were on for a great thing, gave away the farm games, meant the picks. But that allowed the Seahawks to completely put it all back together.
Was another one, like letting go of DK Metcalf to the Steelers, like shipped him out of the building at just the right time because they knew what they had in Jackson Smith and Jigba.
But I mean, for both of those, I'm glad you mentioned the Metcalf thing. So for both of those trades, was situations where a lot of Seahawks fans are like, "What are we doing here? I thought we had something good here," and in the end, it's working out pretty well for them. Even the fact that they were the ones to race against Sam Darnold. I mean, Sam Darnold was not a sure thing going into any team, even though they won 14 games last year in Minnesota. I'm sure Minnesota would like to have him back to a certain extent, but I just think it's always been a really strong play. And I mentioned as well, I think they were the ones who probably had the best draft, or one of the best drafts of the year as well.
Big throw there by CJ Stroud.
Great play all around, isn't it? It's a great throw.
He's catching that ball on the marker there. Is that not for?
Oh, has he broken the plane there?
Big play here.
Four down territory here, so it's ESPN Analytics 4 and 6 or less. See, that's what I was saying to you earlier. If you're 4 down territory, it goes as far back as you want, really. Chubb, just getting over the line. Look, I think
so what we're saying, ESPN is essentially saying if it's 6 yards or less, just go for it.
Well, in fairness, ESPN Analytics, as Mike Florio has forever bemoaning, is very, just constantly go for it. It would even make Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell be like, I don't know, calm it down a sec.
When I was one of the head coach earlier and says, I can't recall who it was, and he said, I don't go for it because of the analytics. I go for it because of my gut. My gut tells me in a particular time.
Old-fashioned. You're telling me you're not coaching with a computer on the sideline? Come on. Every game is Madden.
But this to the point Connor made earlier.
It's all AI.
Texans were well within the right to take that field goal.
That's going up here.
He's got
That's a pick.
Yeah.
Oh, he's out.
He didn't land in bounds.
No, I don't think he landed in bounds. They're calling it in bounds, I think. They're calling it in bounds.
No, I don't think so. I think
they're calling it in bounds.
Well, all turnovers are reviewed automatically, so let's see what happens.
Oh, it doesn't look. He doesn't have possession.
Oh, he's shin down. He's got shin down.
Yeah, but is it? Ooh, does he have possession there in his arms?
Oh, well,
he was pushed against his helmet, and he survives the ground. Does he?
Well, there was a Brandon Cooks catch last night, which was very similar.
Don't bring that up. That wasn't a catch. It was an interception.
Not that one. One earlier on a drive when they could have went 8 points clear. Similarities, not related to the one at the end, Connor. There was one on the
Irish NFL shows has commented. Is that an interception? I don't know. Are we speaking among ourselves here? I don't know.
His knee's on the perimeter line as well. I'd say it's not. I'd say they're overturning.
The rules analyst just gave that as a catch.
The ESPN rules analyst gave that as a catch.
No, Connor, there was one.
It's done now.
When the Bills were driving last night, 1 point up, in the end, they had to take the field goal. There was a throw similar to that in which Brandon Cooks came down with, and it was declared as he was out of bounds. But they time and time again showed it, and one knee went down. And again, in the commentary, we're saying, well, is the knee or is it the footing? Can we get clarity on that? I would imagine they won't overturn that one.
It has to be clear and decisive to overturn.
Yeah, Kieran Boyle is in here saying 1 knee equals 2 feet.
There we go.
As the ESPN commentator was saying as well, so I trust that as being the ruling. The thing is though, is there an angle where the knee is on the line?
Even if his shin is down and the knee is, as long as the shin comes down in bounds before the knee hits the line.
Yeah, one of those things of, I can already hear the group chats. If this is not given to the Patriots, being like, that was an interception all day, but people in New York are giving it because it's the Patriots and all this.
Are giving it to the Patriots because it's the Patriots.
This is what I mean. But this is how different fan bases see different things.
Which of course can never catch a break. Of course, can't they? They can never catch a break. The Patriots, nothing ever goes their way.
Yeah, it won't get overturned. It's a disappointing throw as well, though. Whether it's deemed incomplete.
That's the most important point.
We've seen this every time. So far with Stroud, successfully if he stays within the number, successfully stays sort of, I don't know, like within like the 4/5. But once he goes to the really, really far wings, it seems that the cornerbacks are able to control it.
There's no need for it. You can't win the game at this point, but you can certainly put yourself in a pretty precarious position if you're making throws like that.
Yeah, and I feel like there was enough. He was in enough distance there that he could have easily just gone for not a more conservative throw, but something maybe for 5 or 10 yards down the field, where they've been finding men in space during that more central panel there anyway. I feel like that's unusual.
The numbers are very low. Like Jaden Higgins, 2 catches, 2 receptions for 18 yards. The big play is Schultz, 47 yards. The rushing game, Connor, Woody Marks has had 5 yards rushing. And obviously Chubb came in.
5 yards.
Chubb came in on that 4th down play, gets 2 yards. I mean, the numbers they're limited.
So it'll be interesting to hear what the call is. We've just come back to the ESPN coverage.
Judging by the nature of the conversation, I think it's a done deal.
See this America 250, by the way. I feel like I'll come back to that point later. Patriots ball. So Patriots again, but this is a similar situation to the previous drive. Again, if something goes wrong where Houston gets the ball back again earlier on, it's still momentum going in Houston's favor. Now, if the pendulum is starting to swing, the Patriots need to make sure it keeps swinging in their direction and get something going here. So we even saw last night how an interception by the Bills was followed by an interception by the Broncos. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they're not. You have to make hay with these things.
You mentioned the US 250. It's obviously the 250th anniversary of American independence this year, all the way back to 1776. Does that give the Patriots an advantage? We know the Patriots tend to win the Super Bowl in patriotic circumstances. As Robert Kraft says, these are gifts for everybody.
See, I was about to get on to that point. So I was like, think about it. I feel like. Oh, hang on. Fumble here. Let's go back.
Texans ball.
It looks like Texans have the ball. This is what I mean. Another turnover means that the pendulum of momentum was can't swing.
I think there was a miscommunication on the handoff because he ran the ball because when he went back to his running back.
Again with
definitely out. But Drake May went one way. His running back went the other. He then just made a decision that he had to run the ball up the gut and ultimately gives it over.
Exactly what we were talking about earlier in terms of the ability of defenders to get the hand in there. Once again, tall guy just sees Drake May going for it. He's not exactly holding it. It's there for him to go get and just get the punch in on the ball to knock it out. And again, these are key moments that are just not going New England's way. The Houston defense is getting it.
Would you not put that on Drake May? Because obviously the play's broken down because the running back's rang the wrong route. Okay, and then he's decided to run up the middle. Yeah, but in the most packed area of the pocket.
It's not the decision; it's the execution of holding the ball in. I mean, we just see if you look at it from the angle in which the players are looking at it, the ball is there's no real arm to sort of protect anybody from going in to grab it. I mean, I feel like I understand sometimes these are quick decisions and he's trying to come in there, but I mean the ball security there, like if that was a running back, we'd be hammering quite hard. And look, you're a rushing quarterback, you make the decision, you have to protect the ball at the same level, and it's just not happening.
But he's putting himself in harm's way by running up the gut where the pocket is packed both offensively and defensively. Like in that situation, the play's broken down when you not see, okay, I'll go out to the perimeter here. Worst case scenario, they're going to come out and I'll go off the field and get a couple of yards.
Well, he's had success going down that central channel before. I mean, we've even seen this, like people always talk about he's out to Josh Allen type quarterback. It's the same kind of thing as well. But we saw it like last year in his rookie year. Whenever he's in those situations, he put himself in harm's way in terms of getting concussions, and that was another problem there. So,
end of the quarter.
Yeah, frustrating decision. So, end of the quarter, and it looks like the Texans are, even though they're behind on the scoreboard, they so far seem to be playing the better football. So.
It's a sloppy playoff game so far, and I know the conditions definitely impact on that, and you don't want to be dinging the players too badly, but this is not up to some of the caliber of the games that we saw on wildcard weekend when we had just a feast of football.
Interesting now to see what happens here. So I think we might just take 2 minutes to refresh our water cups, and then we'll come back. Be interested. Keep your comments coming in as to how you think this game is going so far. I think certainly from a Patriots point of view, it's been sloppy. From both teams' point of view, it has been sloppy. Defense has managed to get up here, and once we come back from the end of the first quarter, Houston will definitely be trying to make hay and get on top here. So for now, I think we're going to take a quick 30 seconds, and we'll be back with you afterwards.
You know great odds, you're in control, you always bet responsibly, and you're not afraid to choose alternatives. That's why you bet with QuinnBet. Build your own unique football bets with Create a Bet. Winning team, first goal scorer, number of goals, the possibilities are endless. And with a 4-star Trustpilot customer service rating, why not give QuinnBet a shot? QuinnBet, we bet you love it.
You're gonna pick the overs.
We're back now at the start of the second quarter. The Texans in possession and looking to claw back that 7-3 lead. It's been, if you're just joining and you haven't been watching the game so far, pretty sloppy game of playoff football thus far into it. The Patriots jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Texans rather had a good drive after that and kicked a field goal to make it 7-3. We've seen turnovers. We saw Drake May just cough the ball up, which has given the Texans this short field and this opportunity now to take the lead, Shane. But frustrating from your Patriots perspective because they started much the better of the two teams, but it's a bit of a wrestle for the knife in the mud right now.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in situations where ball security is a problem, when your Drake May has been hit twice, and both times a really, really costly sack, and then a fumble when he went in with the run to the right hand side. I mean, we were talking about at the start of this broadcast about the quality of the Patriots offensive line and how they're holding up. That's definitely not been a strong point so far today. The Houston front seven, when they want to push forward, they can be really damaging. The only time the Patriots offense has been really getting something is when they're able to sort of pass over their front seven and get into space behind. But for the last two drives when the Patriots have had the ball, they've really let momentum swing back in Houston's favor, even if the Patriots defense managed to get a pick earlier on. So look, they still have a lot of football to play here, even if the Houston score as they look like they're going to do, because they're in the inside 10 yards now. They were inside 10 yards the last time and they only got a field goal. But if they get a touchdown here, it's still only 10-7, and there's still plenty of opportunity for momentum to swing between either side. But Houston definitely looking like a team that seems to be more in control here, and it's their defense, as we expected, that is leading that charge. Interested to know now, 3rd and 4 here, whether their offense can get a touchdown here. And they can.
Christian Kirk again.
Kirk again, the playoff superstar, right hand side, really nicely done to pull that ball in.
Never
again,
mind Kirk to Enterprise, it's Stroud to Kirk.
Star Trek thing is going over probably slightly over my head, but really nice sort of pass out to the right hand side. And again, there's a situation now where we're talking earlier about Stroud's passes and the extent to which that his that his receivers are getting separation from the Patriots corners and how well his throws are going outside, at the really, really wide situations. There's one where in a wide situation, there was a really, really slick throw that went exactly where it needed to go. And then everybody touchdown for Houston, and a well-deserved one.
And Brian, we were criticizing CJ Stroud for some of those earlier throws, and there was one in particular which nearly was an interception that he threw outside the numbers. A very similar play that unfolds there, and that's CJ Stroud that we know.
That's exactly what I was referring to earlier. That one earlier where Higgins came in and batted it down, I said, and we were making the point that needs to go over the perimeter in terms of putting on the outside of the wide receiver, where worst case it's an incomplete pass and it goes out. In that situation earlier, they were fortunate to get away with it, but that's exactly that situation there. Perfect. Put it on the outside of the perimeter where it's either a touchdown or it's an incomplete pass, unless the cornerback makes a fantastic play. But it's a huge kind of boost for the Texans in terms of can they score touchdowns, because we're talking about them only taking field goals, hanging around. Now they've taken the lead. All of a sudden puts the pressure back on.
It shows you, and this is what you need in the playoffs. So we saw it with Bo Nix last night, when at times it was frustrating for him and he couldn't get things going. But when the Denver Broncos really needed him, like particularly with the touchdown in overtime the touchdown that they needed to put them ahead at the end of the regular time, he made some big time throws. Like it's the ability to forget when it's going badly, the goldfish memory, putting those plays behind you and keep looking for the positive plays. Also, I suppose, as is the case between Peyton and Nix, and also the case between D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud, it's the coach's confidence that it's still in you. We're still going to keep calling those plays because we know you can do it when we need you to do it.
Yeah, and ultimately the winner of this game is going to play the Broncos. And just to touch on the Broncos, Bo Nix has been questioned over large parts of the season. In general, the Broncos have been questioned whether they're legit to be the fourth seed, and to come out of the right side of a compelling game last night. But Bo Nix again last night, and it's unfortunate he has this injury and he's gone for the season. It changes the dynamic of that game next week, because last night, you touched on it there, they drove down at the end, and I know there's been controversy over whether it was a number of flags, but Bo Nix put them in that position to win the game last night. He had the touchdown before halftime. They called it out on the CBS coverage. If ever there was the right time to go for an end zone type touchdown, it's now, because they're on the cusp of kicking a field goal anyway. Let's take a strike at it. He finds little Jordan Humphrey to one at the end to Mims. Perfect throw. Again, similar to what we're suggesting. Put it right in that situation.
I know this point was made in the coverage at the time in the commentary. It's a great play call because Tre'Davious White, the Bills' standout cornerback, had to take a snap off. He got shook on the previous play, and they went right to Jackson, who was the backup stepping in there, just targeted him to Mims, and it worked out for the touchdown.
And similar in the first half, they went out to Savage, who again was up and down. They said, right, they're identifying players that are struggling in certain parts. Can we get on the right side of it? They did. That's Sean Payton. That's the manner of the head coach screwed in. This morning's instant reaction, Shane referred to it. I'm interested to see how this game evolves. Well, this is a different dynamic because both teams have played last weekend. Second half for the first seeds is huge. For the Seahawks, it didn't really matter. The game was out by halftime, but the Broncos, in a way, had enough in the reserve last night, coming into overtime to find that long drive to the end.
But that's the thing. I mean, not that it's the same thing as having an entire bye week, but of course, the Pacers coming into this on the back of playing on Sunday night. The Texans coming into this on the back of playing on Monday night. The Texans having to do 2 road trips, one to Pittsburgh and one to New England. New England, of course, home for the second time. So if there is an energy bump or an energy deficit that's going to make any difference, we are going to be the fourth quarter is where we're going to see that. But there is a real danger here for New England that the game could get away from them before that if the offense doesn't get going, because
you're playing a team here, and we made this point at the start, it's won 10 games in a row. Like the Texans aren't going to fold just because they get shoved around a little bit at the start of the game. Nearly picked off. And
here's another thing about the Texans. I mean, look, 6 of the 7 of us picked the Patriots to win in terms of our picks. I have a reason to be maybe
who didn't?
Not you didn't. Fair play to maybe delusional, but I mean it's funny. Like most of the all of the ESPN pickers went for Houston. I feel like we would have more respect for the Texans if they were wearing another badge. in terms of the way that we've been looking at it.
I disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I picked the Patriots to win this game, because I don't trust that Texans offense, and nothing that I've seen so far has convinced me otherwise. A couple of good CJ Stroud throws notwithstanding, they're not running the ball at all. The Texans have run the ball 8 times for 13 yards so far, 1.6 yards per attempt. That's going to catch up to them over the course of the game.
But I think maybe this is more of a sort of general point, not only in terms of us, but how I guess a lot of people have been talking about this game. I think people have been really pushing forward the idea that the Patriots are coming to this as clear favourites. Just look at how strong that Houston Texans defense is, and just the nature that if they can shut down what is the strength of what this Patriots project has done this year, and that is Drake May, that it really just keeps the ball in their own court in Houston, even if their offense can't necessarily make hay for them. But they have done in the last play. May just about getting out of the pocket there.
He's going to get that's
what you were saying earlier, Brian, in terms of May making a decision to go for the sideline instead of going in when he has to run.
I just think it's intelligent quarterback play that if you put yourself in that position, you're going on the side. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to hit you going out of bounds and you get a penalised flag, or you get the first down. In that situation, he got the first down. The Texans player knew what was coming. He stepped away because he knew any close and I potentially could give up a flag. But that's a huge play. It was the third and long there to get a first down, continue to drive.
Yeah, that play doesn't particularly reflect well on Campbell, nor does that one. Again, that's 2 plays where Will Campbell is left standing up with his man being able to get free. So just when we're talking about the quality of Campbell and what he's been able to do on that.
I mean, they were always going to come after them on the left side of that line. Yeah. Like, there was no 2 ways about it, and it's working so far. But I mean, not that I need to be particularly giving you confidence, Shane, but I mean, Patriots are not playing well right now, and they're still only 3 points down. I mean,
that's true.
You've given the Texans a short field there from which they converted, obviously, to go 10-7 up, but there's nothing in this game. I'm still confident in the Patriots over the course of 4 quarters to pull this one out. I have to say, you'll see Drake May get hot, and we'll see them perform much better offensively than we're seeing them right now, I feel.
Connie, you're talking about the rush game there in terms of how little the Texans have done. Just look at the numbers here. Stevenson, 25 yards, but he broke off at one for 16 to 17 yards. Outside of that, he's done very little. 3 carries, 25. Drake May, 2 for 12. Obviously, the one there being the most prominent
They're
one.
still going for 4.3 a clip overall. They're nine carries for 39 yards between May himself. Now, that's probably slightly inflating that because he picked up a good gain there. But between May himself, Ramondre Stevenson and Henderson, they're running the ball at least a league average clip, or what you want your running backs and your
as opposed to 1.6 with the Texans. Essentially means they're doing nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. But it's all down to this game is playing out in the manner exactly as we felt when we did the preview. Like, okay, majority feel that the Patriots will come out the right side, but in terms of how it's playing out, it's not any way different than what we thought. It will be a close, low-scoring affair. Texans defense will put themselves in a position to win the game. Ultimately, can they come up big? And that's then ultimately it comes down to, can CJ Stroud in the second half get the plays to put them over the line? I think that's your fandom there saying this game could get out of hand. I don't think this is ever going to get out of hand in terms of if there's a double-digit lead for the Texans and the Patriots are chasing the game. I just don't see it like that.
Yeah, but
we've seen a bunch of, we have seen turnovers, but we've seen a bunch of turnover plays on both quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like, that ball is going up there for grabs quite an alarmingly high rate, like a very excitingly high rate from the neutrals perspective, but hard and mouth stuff for you.
Yeah, but what I was wondering is not looking ahead to halftime too much. There's still most of the second quarter to come here, but in terms of what halftime adjustments are coming and who has the ability to make those more effective. Maybe that's somewhere where the Patriots can take more solace, because in the first half last week, Drake May completion percentage was roughly 40%, considering he has one of the highest completion percentages over the course of the regular season that we've seen in a long time, in the 74 range. I think I'm right in saying in the second half, things ended up clicking a lot better. The McDaniel system worked, but I mean, you'd like to think that the McDaniel system and all the planning will be working. Those first 10, 15 scripted plays, it definitely worked in the second drive so far. Things have maybe gone slightly out of hand for the Patriots offense so far, but maybe in the second half, by the time things reset, that we can see more of an offensive battle coming in here. I think that's definitely turning from sleet into snow in Foxborough. So the Snow Globe fans will probably get a nice spectacle as this game goes on.
The last thing, obviously, I want to see from a Bears perspective is the Patriots losing at home in cold weather. I don't want the myth of the cold weather advantage to be dispelled at this point. Thank you very much.
I thought we're supposed to be cheering for the Super Bowl 20, the Super Bowl 20 rematch. 40 years after the Bears got over the Patriots, and maybe finally we might get time for revenge.
I said a few weeks ago, and I still stand by it. I know I'm jealous because my team are sitting at home not playing ball at this time of year. I know Kieran will feel the same, having seen his Packers dumped, but it is great to do a season with the team and to have a situation where Ben has the Seahawks in, Patriots here this evening, the Bears. We're all going out to San Francisco in a couple of weeks. It'd be interesting if one of our teams is in the final and what that would mean.
And here's the thing: the only way,
that.
So the only way for that to happen, though, from if we were to have some sort of Irish NFL show derby in the Super Bowl.
Oh,
the Patriots.
I was just been satisfied with one of our teams in the Super Bowl.
Why go for things? This is the thing. You're not going for a fourth down. I am. I'm pushing the boat here.
He's pushing all the chips.
I'm the only AFC fan, and we're 7 of us and 60 were NFC fans. So I feel like if you wanted it to happen, it would be good for us. Maybe you would be willing us on.
I just said I'd be happy to see one of us have their team in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, I feel like
necessarily tell you which team.
I feel like you meant that more for the Seahawks than the Bears.
I didn't.
Just a small bit.
I didn't. Genuinely. What Super Bowl would I like right now? It's difficult. I'll tell you the reason why it's difficult. Because taking away your fandom, Connor, and the Bears are going to play tonight, the Rams in the Super Bowl would make for a great game. In terms of offense, watching their offense play.
I think, unfortunately, with Bo Nix gone, you're looking at the Broncos going, well, firstly, they're probably not going to make it there, unfortunately, unless we see Jared Stidham become a better player.
I wouldn't rule that out.
So far.
Here we go.
He's less Nick Foles than more Nick Folds, as far as I can see.
The receipts are being collected
I reserve the right to withdraw
Connor.
that if he balls out next week.
Don't discount the mile high factor no matter who they play next week.
The mile high factor didn't seem wonderful last night.
Didn't bother the Jaguars a couple of weeks ago when they emptied them out there.
Not in the way that Seattle factor. The Seattle factor was
Lumen Field looked like the most intimidating place to go in the NFL yet again.
Unbelievable. In the way that it's kind of lost and was good.
Oh,
that ball is in Patriots' hands. Jones,
six.
Is it in? I mean, that was really nice.
You're allowed to share. You're allowed to share.
I'm just saying a turnover worthy plays.
Momentum swinger.
This game has been full of turnover opportunities.
Of the Patriots would come in terms of a pick pass, a swatted down pick pass, and then for Jones to get past enough Texans guys who could have stopped him to keep going all the way into the end zone. Again, like I was saying to you earlier, where the Patriots fans have been taking a lot of their solace in terms of where our path to victory is here. It's finding ways to make CJ Stroud make mistakes and punish them. That's exactly what's happening here with this Jones touchdown. And I'm feeling a lot better now. I don't know why. I feel like I'm sitting higher in my chair.
So you're going to the Super Bowl?
Well, you were just saying, actually, you were just speaking into existence the possibility that one of our teams might make it there, and all of a sudden the Patriots on the 250th birthday of the United States of America. It's not quite the 250th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party, unfortunately. That was in 1773. So
I mean, it
almost would have been too nice.
Clearly not the 250th anniversary of America, and I think the First Nations people would have quite a pushback against any notion that it is.
Which is a different entity.
Interesting fact, the American Ambassador's residence in the Phoenix Park is also 250 years old this year. It was built in 1776.
Connor, you watch playoff football every year, and it's always about whoever limits the turnovers wins the games. But over the course of 24 hours, we've seen 2 games. The Bills and Broncos. I mean, both teams turned the ball over last night. And okay, the Broncos have come out the right side of it, but it doesn't feel like that was. I know we talk about key moments in games, but even in this game tonight, like the number of turnovers we've had is probably not at the level in which you would expect, despite the adverse weather conditions. You don't expect 3 or 4 turnovers in the first half. It's unusual.
No, it's just been. To your point, Shane, that probably the key factor in this game so far has been poor execution on offense from both teams. Yep. It's not, you can't write that all off to weather. It's 2 teams that look like they both haven't played in a couple of weeks, rather than a team that came out of a momentum building. You would have thought playoff win that was their 10th victory in a row, and the Patriots getting an opportunity, having beaten the Chargers, to tune up for precisely this battle.
I don't know why we probably didn't see that this game had the potential to be quite a sloppy one, considering what the 5 times that Stroud let the ball slip away from last week. The fact that the Patriots are facing against the Texans defense, who are great at ripping the ball out, and the Patriots ball security isn't the best. And that's definitely been the tone of this. It's definitely made it quite a dramatic affair. And that, I think, going back to your point earlier, what confidence do you have in the Houston offense to push forward consistently? I'll be honest, like I'm probably slightly higher on the Houston offense in terms of their ability, because I know of their ceiling, but the floor with Stroud and the floor with there probably isn't there that you can sort of build a level of consistency. And where that leads to is games like this, which can just go not out of hand, but build the kind of energy where balls slip. The plan doesn't get executed in the way, because you have to consistently go for the secondary option in the pass. You have to run when you don't really want to run, or in that situation there, the defense gets on top of you and the ball gets turned over, as we've seen both quarterbacks do so far.
One of the things that's consistently gotten me this season when we've been making predictions is expecting a team to be the best version of itself when you just haven't been seeing it week to week. And at a certain point, you realize it's just not going to happen. Like I thought the Chiefs would get to the point where they'd start rolling. They didn't. I thought the Lions would get back into the groove. They didn't. And you're looking at this Texans offense, and I've been thinking similarly to you. I know what the ceiling is. I know what they can do. I know what they should be able to do. But week in, week out, despite this 10-game winning run, it seems like a laughable thing, I know, to say about a team that's won 10 games in a row, but we just haven't seen the performance at a high level or an efficient level offensively, and now it's coming back to bite them in the biggest game of the year.
Well, I'll tell you one team who hasn't been performing at their best in the way that we've seen over the course of the season. Be interesting to see what happens tonight. The Los Angeles Rams. Like I've been bullish on the LA Rams. I still have them as probably my favorite to the Super Bowl to win it all, just because of what their ability is all across, in terms of, I'm really, really a fan of their coaching, of McVay in particular. I'm really a fan of Stafford. I'm really a fan of his offensive line. His connection to Puka Nacua, I think, has been too reliant, but it's been pretty strong. But we haven't seen so many games that they've played, and it includes last week's playoff game against the Panthers. They haven't been at the full level which they've proven themselves to be. And maybe there's some of these things you just have to sit back and say, well, maybe this isn't fully clicking in.
Well, Brian, remember when we had the watch party in the Tap House in Ranelagh? We were watching the Eagles and Rams with Kieran O'Reilly. Shout out to Kieran, who's a great partner of ours and a great friend of the show. And his Eagles ended up beating the Rams on a blocked field goal. And that's been the kind of play that's been costing the Rams throughout the season. And, I use the expression, is it a bug or a feature? Like, it's starting to look like these kind of things are a feature of the Rams game. There are just little things that they haven't ironed out and that you always think might actually come and get them. And in all the games that they've lost, have come and gotten them. That's something that gives me hope from a Bears perspective, is that the Rams, as smooth and as brilliant and as explosive as their offense can be, and as intimidating as this defense can be at times, special teams is definitely an area that has gotten a bit in a couple of times. There are a couple of gaps in that secondary, like consistently teams like the Panthers, that, as we've seen in 2 games now this season, have been able to take advantage of. Ben Johnson is the kind of guy that I'm looking at that could take advantage of it again. I said in our predictions that might be what would happen, but they're a curious team because from the talent that they have and from the coaching that they have, to me, they're the best team in theory at their best left in the playoffs, but we haven't seen them.
Yeah, I rewind a couple of months ago when we did a Thursday night preview, and you suggested that the 2 games at that stage of the season which they lost were predominantly down and solely down to their special teams. It was that game which you referred to there early on in the season, week 3, where they lost to the Eagles, and were up by quite a significant scoreline. Then they went on a Thursday night football against, again, an injury-ravaged 49ers team. Missed an extra point, missed field goals, special teams. And it just seems to be that bug that hasn't got away from them over the course of the season. And that's why you look at tonight's game, you're talking about where it can be won and lost. Is a scenario where
to that point? So they fired their special teams coach during the season, Jordan Rodrigue, who's been watching this team very closely, and we spoke to her and we did a preview with her of the Jordan Rodrigue of the Athletic before the start of the season, and she did in great detail laid out for us why the Rams are and should be considered genuine Super Bowl contenders this year. And yet she was criticizing McVay a couple of weeks ago, and quite rightly so, I think, saying he doesn't care enough about special teams. It seems to be this weird oversight as the Patriots pick the ball up, and he's not down by contract. He got to move. He got to move.
Again, I don't know whether that one in particular you can put it down on CJ Stroud, or whether that was just a really a sloppy one from the wide receiver. But
As we got carried away talking about the Rams.
I know, yeah.
We got a football game here.
I was just going to say.
Three
turnovers by the Texans.
One by the Patriots.
Hudson again, like he was there. He caught a really nice pass earlier for 12 yards early on in his drive. But again, that one really slipped out of his hands. I actually don't know whether you could put that on Stroud, but in terms of the placement, because he really made.
Well, that's gone through his fingers. Like that's a catchable ball. Big.
Oh, you're right.
That has to be caught.
You're right. That has to be caught. You're right. Sorry.
Is he down by contact?
And he also doesn't make an effort to touch. Well, he's fair, and somebody lands on his head.
Okay.
I
think you can give him the break.
Being very harsh there.
If someone was landing on your
head, you got to
head,
make that play. Arse to head there totally put him off making the tackle.
New England's ball first and 10 at 48.
So they're suggesting they brought it back. They brought it back.
Well, it's New England ball, so let's see. The yardage can be moved around.
He did tag him.
He did tag him.
Yeah,
just about.
Like completely.
I think you have to give him his kudos there.
I have to give him his kudos. He actually made a great heads-up play.
Here's the thing now, Connor, because 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, you asked me, how do I feel about the Patriots team in the playoffs? And I said, there's a potential that it could be one and done. Where I was fearful was the defense.
Yeah.
What have we seen against the Chargers? Defense showing up, managed to keep things quiet very early on in the second half, gave the offensive platform to find the rhythm in the second half. This is the third turnover they've now had. They've already had a defensive score here against the Texans, and momentum is now shifting back in favor of New England. Still 8 minutes left to go in the second quarter, but it's the Patriots defense and the Mike Vrabel defense.
Well-coached teams get better through the season. They fix their flaws. That's why the Patriots are where they are, because they improved from last season, and they're still improving as they go along. They're building the plane while they're flying it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the
Connor, at the start of the season, if anyone had said to you, your AFC Championship game is going to be, because you think back to Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady and all those really juggernaut performances, in terms of when Brady went into Mile High and won games and vice versa, and the rivalry in which they had for many a year when it was Manning versus Brady. If someone had said to you the AFC Championship game would be the Broncos against the Patriots, I don't think anybody would have believed us.
Meg getting sacked here. Again, he was
big sack.
Is under a lot of pressure. That offensive line is not holding up for him at all.
This Texas defense, sorry, I know I jumped on to a different point there, but to give away the pick six of the Texans offense, and you touched on earlier, not necessarily just discontent by the Texans defense, but they're doing everything in their power to withstand this Patriots offense to allow their team to win. And the frustration from some of these players has to be evident at some stage.
But to give him his due, I mean, Kieran Boyle was saying at the start of the season that he thought the Patriots were built to make a deep playoff run. He didn't specify what round they'd make it to, but he was very high on them, and rightly so, as it turned out. Go
on, Hunter. Fourth down. So look, this is probably going to be punted away, and the Patriots defense is going to have to go it again. Just a quick shout out as well to Zach Kerr, who's been the linebackers coach, who has been the defensive play caller. The defensive coordinator for the Patriots fell ill at the start of the season, so beyond Zach Kerr to try and take up that spot. He's definitely been one of the revelations from a coaching point of view. You talk about how well-coached teams seem to assemble the plane as they're going on. I think was the phrase you were using, and I think he should be taking credit for, I think,
build the plane while flying the plane.
Build the plane while flying the plane. Thank you. So I feel like I've already nicked too many of your phrases. I wrote an article about the Bears, and I used that. Forgive me for borrowing.
I stole it from Ryan Poles, so that's fine. Like, talent borrows, genius steals. You were talking about how the elite quarterbacks are either surgeons or assassins.
I nicked that one, and I also nicked the feature in a bug line. There was two Conor Brophyisms in the Bears.
Don't worry, I stole them from somebody else. You can steal with abandon.
It's like what was the Krusty the Clown thing? It's like, you stole my bit. And it's like, well, you stole it from Pardon My Zinger. I was like, oh well, sorry.
we a big podcast previewing that game tomorrow. Shane, do you want to?
But Andrew McGinnis, so he was talking about actually some really interesting stuff about Kirsten Nettie, who's the head coach of the University of Indiana. It's funny, when he came into that program, he was like, Google me, I win. Which I thought was a great line. Andrew McGinnis, who is a blog, he writes a blog. He's based in Atlanta. He's an Irish guy, an Irishman on football, I think is the name of the blog. He was talked to us on a podcast, which is available tomorrow morning, previewing the national championship game. But really a sort of Indiana piece, because they've been a really, really interesting story in American sports right now. But just going back to the game here, there was another point where the Texans' offensive line isn't holding up for them. Neither offensive line, I think, has shown themselves in a good light today.
You've seen over the last couple of drives, kind of just to Shane's point, the struggles of this Texans offensive line at the start of the season. I know Kieran was speaking to Sean Pendergast, and during the week, Karen Vitelli came on, who's a friend of the show. She spoke about the fact that going into week one, this offensive line hadn't played any snaps together whatsoever. And the reason for their struggle earlier on in the season was that offensive line had needed time to transition and gel.
Rewind
come
it
together,
back to
the struggles are
last
there
season
tonight.
when CJ Stroud took more sacks than anyone else other than Caleb Williams. He was running for his life the whole of last year.
Yeah.
And this was the number one item that they had to sort out in the offseason.
Yeah, and one of the biggest moves in the offseason wasn't necessarily them bringing in a player, it was them moving him. Like Laramie Tunsil gets traded to the Commanders. Everyone would said, okay, that's a great move for the Commanders. We understand why they're doing that. They're doubling down on a really strong season. Didn't transpire that way. But that was a big player that they allowed to move off. Not necessarily sure they brought in enough to kind of remove that talent from the team and continue. But however, they got it right in the second half of the season. The last few drives in particular, you're starting to see kind of clinks in the armor there where they're coming at them and they're coming at them strong.
Well, you're looking at the teams that are left in the playoffs at this stage, and you look like the Bears obviously performed major surgery on their O-line. The Rams have a great O-line. The Bills, I know we saw them go out last night, but the investments that they made absolutely paying off. And you leave this area of your team short at your peril, Shane. Patrick Mahomes can testify to that. He lost the Super Bowl to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and lost another one last year because he didn't have the protection that he needed to get the job done.
This is the thing. I mean, like the full base of your offense, if you're left running for your life, we saw in the Super Bowl 59 last year, Mahomes was completely at loss as the defenders had a free reign to get at him. CJ Stroud against the Chiefs last year, a similar story when they kept sort of going in on him. And look, like this is the next step. Even Brock Purdy last night, he was given a bit of time, but he spent too much time to be to make a decision as to what he was doing throwing, and eventually you let the defense get on top of you. I mean, in order for everything to run smoothly, that is definitely the first thing you have to push forward. It's interesting to know like what teams next year you think are gonna what teams next year do you think that is the next step for them to push forward? I'm looking at you for a reason, Brian.
Not me.
Yeah, but who? Just while we're on the offensive line point, if we're in the offseason, who do you think has offensive line is top, who they're going for in the first round of the draft? Who they're going for, like a Joe Tooney type trade, for example, as to what Chicago last year? Who do you think really needs that?
Well, let's look at the sack stats, like which quarterback has been taking heat. Like obviously the Chargers, when everyone is fit, have an offensive line that can get the job done. But, Justin Herbert's been taking way too much heat this season. If
we're going pure on stats, you'd be saying with Jets, but I feel like the Jets, a lot of those sacks are quarterback sacks, if you know what I mean, in terms of like it was their fault for holding onto the ball for
they've invested in that O-line as well.
But the game that myself and Craig were between the Broncos and the Jets in London was one where the Jets just held onto the ball way too long, and like no offensive line could hold up against it. As the offensive line collapsed there, but as CJ Stroud managed to get the ball out of the pocket, it's now 3rd and 10, very much backed up in his own half.
An interesting stat for you. Jets offensive line is the only offensive line in the league that played every snap together for the entire season.
I saw the Jets social media were posting that. I was like, okay, raise the banner. That's it. The offensive line stayed fit all through. But that could definitely be a bedrock for them next year, as I'm sure we'll talk about over the course of the off season. So
I think the Vikings.
I was just about to say the Vikings
offensive line, because they've had some struggles injury wise, and obviously they've got their topsy-turvy quarterback situation.
Well, I'll run you through the most sacked quarterbacks this season. Geno Smith, so Raiders got to invest
Stroud had time there and he didn't use it. Nah.
Incomplete.
It didn't make the line of scrimmage, though. Is that intentional grounding?
No,
4th down.
No.
But that was a situation where Stroud had the time, but he obviously didn't have the option or just didn't have the neck to try and give up a pick 60, because he's very much backed up.
He's under continuous pressure, and because they're coming from the perimeter, he's no option to get outside.
Yeah.
Look,
that's really nice. That's really nice.
He could have put himself in a position where he could have given a safety away.
Really nicely done by Chase on the right-hand side. What happened there? Just the way the ball kind of came out of his arm there.
The pressure that they're getting on him.
The special teams could be, this is one aspect of the game we haven't spoken about.
You're listening to Joe Buck there. He's just making the same point that you made about
Joe Buck's listening to me.
Joe Buck's listening to you. Like you got the direct feed.
Special teams could be a different thing. It's not something we've talked about because neither of these teams have particularly
going backwards.
Very, very good defensively done by the Texans there from a special teams point of view to push the Pats back from
There's a crucial drive coming up Connor, bear in mind we're left 6 minutes to go in the second quarter of the game.
And Houston gets the ball back.
Houston gets the ball first. Like, you know that with the double down, we always talk about the double dip, where you get the ball prior to half time and then you get start second half. Doesn't necessarily always work out that way, because like we can say that in theory, but when your team goes 3 and out on both sides of the ball, you saw last night.
I give you a perfect example, not to harp on this one again, but Bears-Packers the other week. Packers miss a field goal going into halftime, get the ball back and go 3 and out, and the Bears go down and finally start to claw themselves back into the game. And so it only works as long as you get it done.
That 3 and out to start the second half, they took less than a minute off the clock. It was like 3 plays, boom, gone.
Just going to say a quick hello to a couple people who've been commenting. Kieran and Kieran of all commentators, and Kieran Boyle, Kieran O'Donovan, and Kieran O'Reilly. We hang out with too many Kierans. Kieran O'Reilly quite seriously saying, "What is Stroud doing?" I think Stroud has been put under a lot of pressure, but I think in that particular instance, he's managed to. He's managed to get out of it safe enough, unlike earlier on. Patriots defense, I think, has put him under the cosh a bit here. But
Patriots defense in the second quarter has come to play.
Yeah, it really has. Well,
you had time to throw there. Oh,
that's Keishon Boutte.
Shake your booty.
Yep. They make the call to Keishon Boutte. So look, interesting one there. Again, similar to what we've seen when the Patriots had the scoring drive on offense in the first half. Once they get past our front seven, there is room in the secondary to make use of. So, and Boutte was in the perfect spot to make use of it.
I think it looked like a complete miscommunication there between the cornerback and the safety. Neither came across. Both seemed to be relying on the other to do that piece.
I never trust a lad in the Guardian cap, sorry. It's Petrie, is it? He was actually one of the best defensive backs in the league.
It's one of those things where if anybody else wears it, you don't notice it, but would you ever, a Boutte call was made, that's from Craig, nicely done. But
just a player who keeps on giving. I mean, there's just a Boutte pull for every single occasion.
It's a treasure trove, you could say. You know, there's a Boutte.
Pirate Boutte, yes.
There you go. He should have been playing for the Buccaneers, actually, but don't have him just yet.
Are you monitoring the clock in here in terms of, do you try, manager probably to try to give us a little time back to the Texans? Or are you comfortable where you are?
You want to at least get it down to the 2-minute warning if you can, don't you?
Boutte again!
Or just score
Boutte!
right here. You could do that either.
Gets in your Boutte.
Don't listen to me, Patriots.
What's I don't know what that celebration is. This thing. I don't know. Like,
I've seen a couple of players do it.
I've seen a lot of Patriots players do it this year. Maybe I'm sure it's a thing outside of New England.
I'm sure by the time you reach the championship game next week, you'll be aware of what it is. I'll give you
you're jumping ahead to the championship game already. You've already called the game.
No,
you're the one who backed the Texans. Where's your Texas jersey, Dan?
I don't wear other people's jerseys, unlike other people within our group. You know, you only support one team.
Actually, it's funny. I have a Rams jersey as well, which I won't be wearing until the summertime. It was 15 quid Sports Direct. What do you expect? I'm only a man. Pass in. The catch by Stephon Diggs. The revenge touchdown is in for Stephon Diggs.
This is the point you made earlier, that Diggs is the kind of player that will come up with the big play tonight.
Diggs is a big game player. And he wasn't a big game player last week, but he's shown himself to be sometimes a big moment player, as he was against the Bills a couple of times, as he was in prime time.
If there's any man in football who knows how to get it in there when he's in the red zone, it's Stephon Diggs.
Careful now.
You can Google that yourselves. Google him. He wins.
Well, listen, he's definitely on the A team. He's not on the Cardi B team. So, but listen, what's really nice.
Robert Kraft is on the Cardi B team, isn't he?
And the Gianni Infantino team, as he was last week. But what's really nice about that, there was 2 defenders right on top of him, and he had to use the physicality to make the grab, which I think is one of the reasons why the Patriots brought him in, to be that kind of pass catcher.
The Patriots love a wide receiver with A, something to prove, and B, serious off-field issues. Like, that's so often been the path to success.
It's a great mix. What more do you want?
Well, gives him the impetus to come in and prove everybody wrong. When that ball got thrown, I was thinking, if he doesn't catch it, he's going to have his head taken off him here, because it's two defensive players coming at him at a speed. Great catch. You see the replay there, the way he held on to it?
Yeah. So the physicality there was, and again, that's what's, compare that to what we haven't seen from a couple of the Houston defenders, of course, the Houston players.
Well,
This is-
looking
this
at, do you
is-
remember
this is
the
key.
one from last night's game where Keon Coleman, it was actually chalked off because there was a hold in the backfield and it wouldn't have been a touchdown anyway.
That was a
but
poor drop, wasn't it,
it
Connor?
was a terrible drop. I was thinking you were a lucky man. There was a penalty on that one.
You could argue he made up for it with his touchdown.
Yes,
I mean,
he did, yeah.
but still, when you bring in a player, I spoke
But
about
it reminded me because it was the same type of throw and same type of opportunity. In fact, Keon Coleman probably had an easier chance on the ball, easier play on the ball than Stephon Diggs did there. Because that's fired in there. It's that very close to DPI. And he gets clobbered.
Sorry. Forgive me for my lack of professionalism there, but that was a sweet little.
That is pretty.
Just the way he managed to get on that.
Grab.
It's great to see, just from a sporting point of view, not because I've a dog in this fight or anything. But even as he knows in his face, he's trying to be that kind of, the big game player with the big game throws. And that's the thing now, trying to keep pushing now. If there's any way that the defense can keep CJ Stroud quiet for another drive, they have to go for the kill here before the half is out. 3 minutes 12 still left on the clock. 3 timeouts for each team.
The Texans haven't been in this position of late where they're
83%.
down by double digits. They seem to have been able to kind of control games defensively. Now they're down by 11 points. We've seen the last 2 drives where CJ Stroud essentially has done nothing.
To your point, this is where you need to double dip. Like you need points on this drive. You need to manage the clock carefully as well because you don't want to be giving the Patriots back any time. I mean, that could be a moot point given the way they've played in the last couple of series. They could be giving the ball back through a turnover.
Oh,
So
I still don't know how I feel about this game at large. Obviously, Patriots coming in with 11-point win, still 11-point
But
victory.
it is what we thought it. He thought it was going to be. It is what every one of us, apart from Brian, thought it was going to be. There's plenty of time now. There's plenty of time for Brian to prove us all wrong.
There is plenty of time for CJ Stroud to try and sort of use any time he has to. Picked again. PFF do great stats when it comes to pickable passes, and I'd love to know how
turnover-worthy plays.
I'd love to know how high CJ Stroud is working on this. By the way, I just want to circle back to a statistic that was up there as well. Maybe you have the more up-to-date statistic in terms of the rushing stats. Before that pass play, I think to Stephon Diggs, the Patriots had 50 rushing yards compared to 11 by the Texans. We talked about the fact that the Broncos don't really have much of a rushing game. They need to find that next week. Now, they were able to still get something going. The pass game against the Bills defense, the same thing kind of has to happen here for the Texans because the rushing game hasn't gotten much for them at all. The pass game has to work, but CJ Stroud is under a lot of pressure from this Patriots front seven.
The Patriots defense in the last this drive so far and the previous 2 drives has literally dominated up front.
Yes.
And like people saying, CJ Stroud just plays where it looked like he was going to interception, sloppy plays, but it's all coming from the pressure. Just circle back, Kieran Boyle. The celebration is called Zombieland, made infamous by Cam Ward, amongst others. There's some education for us now on the whatever that celebration is. So I don't even know what to do like on camera in case there was some what is Zombieland?
It's a film, isn't it? Or is it a game?
Brian, your pop culture game is so poor. It's a great film.
I focus on
with Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson and Emma Stone.
He had him.
Zombieland is a classic. It's going to be on the watch list before we go to Santa Clara. Kieran O'Donovan was asking me for a watch list.
A Craig
film, yeah.
A Craig
film for the charades. Film, 2 words, first words.
That's TV, isn't it?
Craig Rigdon's stat has come in, by the way. CJ Stroud has a turnover-worthy pass on 14.3% of his throws.
So 1 out of every 7 throws.
Yeah, you can pick it off.
So what you're suggesting on the way to San Francisco, I have to watch a film?
You'll have to watch a couple of films so you can get yourself ready, get yourself in the groove.
Would you not go?
You have watched at least the classic San Francisco films, right? You've watched Dirty Harry, you've seen Bullet, you watched the Starsky and Hutch movie.
I haven't seen any of those.
It's okay. It's okay.
I am like really far behind my pop culture.
Connor, I've seen one of the 3. Yeah.
Which one?
Starsky and Hutch.
The one with Ben Stiller.
That was a TV show.
Correct.
But you haven't seen the classic Steve McQueen Bullet, one of the greatest car chases in cinema history.
I thought that was a TV show, not a film.
Starsky and Hutch was a TV show, but
I think I was out. I think I was out that night.
Oh, sack here for Stroud. Not Stroud. It was a tackle behind the line for Marks. Never mind.
So what we missed there was a pass interference on your defense, which allowed for this drive to continue.
Well, 2nd and 14 now, so at least the Barmore has made up for it somewhat. How do you feel seeing Ellis, by the way, considering he was the one who had the really, really hard tackle on Jackson Dart that got a lot of Giants fans irked in that Monday Night Football matchup at the start of December? You know, do you see him?
I'm well aware of it. He was the one else that took poor The poor special teams. Here we go again. Oh,
That's a nice. That's a
good
nice
throw.
play. That's a nice play. Higgins with
Arlovsky
the
was
pass.
taken out of the game with a concussion because of a hit by him as well on a return.
Was that Ellis?
Yeah, that was Ellis as well. Yeah. Doesn't surprise me. Vrabel's teams come to play defensively. We've seen it over the course of the last quarter. He's like.
More celebration explanation from Kieran Boyle. Nothing to do with the movie. It signifies someone stinks at D like a corner, stink like a zombie. The kids be all doing it.
Okay.
See, if I read that in a Florida accent, it might,
Well, I presume the celebration is named for the movie or named after the movie, depending on whether you go for the American idiom or not. We need more updates, Kieran. You gotta. We need to get the Kieran link here. We should bring him in like the rules analyst. We should have Kieran as the celebration analyst. He can tell us his stank leg from his Juby slide.
That's a great job. Why haven't ESPN done that? A celebration.
Well, Nickelodeon should do it. Like
2 years ago,
we need someone to explain all the 6-7 stuff to the grandpops, including me.
We could call it Sellies on the
Do
telly.
you not know? Do you like
That's
6-7?
superb. You should be putting that down now. Sellies on the telly right now.
Do you go around work on 6-7?
What?
Do you go around work on 6-7?
Why would I go around work saying? What was saying?
Why does anybody go 6-7?
I don't know.
Exactly.
That's what we need. We need a Selly. We need Sellies on the telly to explain this.
There is no explanation. It's just 6-7.
But it has a
This is the
background.
content everybody under 25 is waiting for. A middle-aged man go, why is everybody going around saying 6-7?
Or if you watch, if you see in Florida, maybe Kieran Boyle will know this one. If you go to Orlando and someone says 6-7 to one of the people there, they go 8-9.
What is that? Well, because they're 89 years old and they've retired in Florida.
No, in Orlando, in Disney, it is all these characters that go around the place, Disney characters.
Yeah.
And some kid who continuously was going around on the family vlog kept going 6-7. So one of the characters on site kept going 8-9. So then he's taken off as 8-9.
Do you know what was weird trend to call me? And you could tell there was an extended ad break, a 2-minute warning, and this is where the conversation has gone. You see, there was one where somebody goes up to you, English or Spanish, and when someone asks you, are you supposed to freeze? I had no idea what was happening. And I was walking through town one day, and 3 groups of teenagers were like, "Hey lad, English or Spanish?" I'm like, what is this? I don't even know what, like, did they think I'm some sort of like Spanish exchange student? What was going on? I've never felt older in my entire life.
If you're feeling old, Shane, there's no hope for the rest of us.
Do you know what score the Super Bowl's
abandon it all
finished?
right here.
6-7.
What if it's Rams Patriots, similar to like a defensive score last time?
67 was the
Hope it doesn't rain in San Francisco now. There's no roof in this place. There's no shelter.
What a difficult complaint you put out to say. There's probably people at home now just glad to see the back end of January, thinking about their February bank holiday.
What's wrong with not wanting to be
and Shane is here complaining about the
Shane's
weather.
first world problems. I'm not sure the weather conditions in California when I'm at the Super Bowl are quite going to suit me.
Yeah, but
You don't want your hair getting all frizzy because there's too much moisture in the atmosphere.
That's a worthwhile complaint. I don't want to be sitting in the rain.
Intercepted.
Picked off.
Intercepted it.
Picked again.
That's a shocking throw by CJ Stroud.
Interesting one here. We have to see the replay.
Just one play after he made a great play.
Turnover in the first
on the
half.
edge of the
really,
goal
really
range.
bad play.
The team are winning, Dad.
Dumbfounded by
The pass was so bad. It came out of his hand with no spiral, and it was already moving like an inch. By the time it left his hand, probably an inch to the right hand side than it was meant to be. Like that he emailed that. He absolutely emailed that to Davis into the defense. But it's getting to a point now where that one, like with the turnovers, you have to say, "Oh, it was way up." Is it like did the defense do a really good job, or is it an offensive problem? That's a CJ Stroud pick. That's a mistake by him all day.
8 in the regular
season. Threw it to number 7 as well. That was 7-7. Number 7 throws it to number 7.
But the pages are feeding off this now. Like you're looking at a situation where do you go for it all here, Connor? Or do you just say, right, that's worst case scenario?
This is step on the throat stage now. This is put them out of their misery.
The field goal here still not necessarily leaves them hanging around. That's probably but the fact that you could still allow yourself.
Well, it's still only a 2-possession game with a field goal, so we really want to touch that here, right? As you're saying, they get the ball back after half time.
Could Stroud be benched here? He looks shot. I can't imagine he'd be benched.
No.
They just need a lot cleaner second half out of him. But the fact that the Houston have no run game means they don't really have a plan B. They're trying to keep running with this pass attack.
Davis Mills is the backup. He actually played quite well when he did step in. You know,
Mills Mafia, like one of the
Mills
reasons they're in the
Mafia.
playoffs is because he held it together when he was in. Yeah.
Again, Craig asking him, should Davis Mills come out at halftime? Yeah. I don't think. I feel like that's almost too panicky from the Texans to say, look, I know you've had a bad game. Come out. You have to try
your
and find a way to
franchise
fix
quarterback
it,
at halftime in a playoff game. Like, what's that going to do for the future of his?
I mean, if that happens, then
you're blowing the whole thing up.
You might as well just trade CJ Stroud tomorrow. But
probably not tomorrow.
Okay, Tuesday.
This is a guy who's played 3 seasons in the NFL, won a playoff game in each of his 3 seasons, including this one. Like, there's nothing wrong with CJ Stroud. He's not having a good game, but no.
But it's his second game in a row, though, in the playoffs.
But the defense has stepped up again and got them off the field. There's still time here, like, 1 minute to go if they can get into field goal range. But he needs to get this out of his head. This is the problem. Connor, he's going to go back in, worrying about that previous drive.
Roy for sure. CJ Stroud is having a more suspect ending than Bruce Grobbelaar at St. James's Park in 1993.
I remember that game, yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, Newcastle won 4-3. I think Andy Cole scored a hat-trick in that game. Rory, you might correct me. Keep me honest there.
So a minute and 3 to go. Both teams still have 3 timeouts.
Actually, no, that was a bit soon. 93. No. He'll come back. He'll tell us.
Again, Cormac Cochran coming back. Look at him. Stroud looks so sad. Mills can carry this team. He has the neck. I still don't think that was the.
That's because he has a big neck, or
Kieran Dunham's in with the history. Joe Montana was benched during at least one playoffs loss. To be fair, Steve Young was on the bench, but I don't know. You don't have Steve Young. You've got Davis Mills. I still don't think. I feel like that's a very rushed decision. If that was the case, you have to try to find a way to fix it. And look, at the end of the day,
for the sake of the game, we need a Texan score here.
But at the end of the day, as much as he's given up 4 turnovers, that's still only an 11-point game. It's not like the Patriots have completely taken over.
That's what I mean. It's only a 2-possession game, and they get the ball back after halftime.
The Houston defense is doing their job, so. Do your job, not being the phrase of the Patriots anymore. It's we all we got, we all we need. That's the.
Is it a part you hear, Connor? You're going to say
we all we got and 4 turnovers from CJ Stroud is all we need.
Connor, is there a part you're saying, you know what? Let's run the ball and try to get in at halftime and refresh, even if we are down by 11 points, because you said like everything.
I don't think that's a winning mentality.
But see, the thing is, there's too many timeouts for the Patriots to get the ball back. They're already on 3rd and 10 here.
Which is why you run the ball and you say, right, if you want to stop the clock, you stop the clock. Never have to go on 2 incomplete passes, and the Patriots haven't had to use any timeouts. If you
just getting no traction running the ball, it's kind of.
You're going to try to relieve the pressure on your quarterback as well.
Are they allergic to the run though? I don't know what's happening.
Connor, you got to try establish some kind of run. Take the pressure off your quarterback.
I completely agree with that. And you remember when we had Mark Schlereth on and he was tearing his hair out.
Toys out of palm.
Yeah, not throwing his toys out of the palm, but tearing his hair out, saying he was sick of offensive coordinators who run the ball 5 or 6 times, don't pick up the yardage that they want, and then abandon the run. You got to stick at it because you got to keep the defense on us. You got to keep wearing down that defensive front in the hope that it'll pay off in the second half when you need it to.
Flagging the play here. I'm not quite sure on what Stroud. Just for anybody who didn't see Stroud. Illegal formation in the offense. And so they're going to decline that. And it's a 4th down. So the Patriots are going to get the ball back with 40 seconds left to go.
With 3 timeouts.
And they're about
3 timeouts. That's
about 15 yards away from field goal range.
That's why you have to run the ball. That's why, whether you get a yard or not, you would make the Patriots take timeouts.
Yeah, you're right. I've come back to your way of thinking.
Yeah, you picked the Texans to win, but you're right in that instance.
I picked the Broncos. Hang on a second. Hang on.
I think you picked the Texans just so because
I picked the Broncos and the Broncos won.
Yeah, but the glee in your face on the previous show on Thursday, so we could see poor Shane at Graco Studios crying his eyes out or whatever it was you were saying. You couldn't wait for the opportunity.
Right, brought his Texans jersey with him as well, just to wave it in Shane's face.
Run back here by Jones to see if he can get over to 50, and he can. 45 yards. So the Patriots are 10 yards away from field goal range, really. 15 maybe. With 36 seconds and 3 timeouts left on the clock here. I actually think this is a good opportunity for Drake May to go for a couple of deep balls. Even if we let it turn over, you trust your defense to shut out the half, or assume that Houston will need it out. So, yeah, it's going to be a tense end to the second half to see whether the Patriots can get 14 points up as opposed to 11.
So I'm loving the whole home team in the divisional round in the snow, shutting down a high-powered offense and a previous MVP candidate quarterback.
Drake, what are you doing? The ball is out. The Texans defense seem to have got the ball
Texans
here.
have recovered it.
It's a Drake away. He's turned it over.
No. Oh,
Recovered by New
lucky-
England. Just
lucky
about.
boys.
We Drake it back.
they're going to let the clock tick down now, I think.
Anderson. What's
That's
he?
one
come up
for each
with
of them
something
now.
like-
It was Adam from two.
Oh, you're so close to
And
getting
the ball
something.
managed to come back.
But this is why they teach the big lads to fall on the ball. You know, you're not there to do the pretty stuff. Just fall on it. They
Yeah,
have
that looks like it's going to be the end of the first half here. So
But it's still a big play before half time. Bearing
Offensive-
in mind, it looked like inevitably they were going to get a field goal.
offensive line is not holding up for the Patriots here at all, is it?
That's still a better job than what the Texans' offensive line has done.
But
That's
you,
true.
You can argue at this stage, Shane, like the Patriots kind of should be out of sight with the opportunities that they've had. They're kind of
But when we were talking earlier at the start of the game as to how must the Houston offense or the Houston defense feel when they see the Houston offense does not make hay with them with the opportunities they're having, the Patriots defense must be like, lads,
What more can we do for you?
4 turnovers off of here, and we're the ones who have had to score the points.
Yeah.
The Patriots offense have only scored
2 touchdowns, including off short fields. And
Yeah.
like you said, what more do you want from us? We're literally playing lights out here.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's so many of these situations, and it's, again, the supposed strength of this offense. But the offensive line is crumbling under all the pressure that Houston is throwing. And we knew that they would be trying to put as much frontal pressure against Drake May as possible. He doesn't necessarily hold up against pressure all the time. This is probably the toughest defense he's played all year. Toughest
Still going
defense
to go
in the
back.
league. They're doing it. They can just about get it in field goal range. No, they're going to take a timeout. They might have time for one more play, or they might just go for. No, they won't.
CJ Stroud now needs the cup of tea and the custard cream at halftime, the classic 1980s footballers halftime. He'd be right as rain the second half. He'd come out
Cup of tea.
slanging it.
Did you ever play the GAA PS2 game, the Gaelic
The
football?
one that was
PS2?
modded off the Aussie Rules one.
Was that is it like the
It started out as an Aussie Rules game, and EA just modded it. They just pasted the GAA jerseys on and slightly
know
changed
that.
the program. Yeah,
I just remember the Michal Moore-Hartig. It's like, and the players going in for a banana and a cup of tea at halftime.
Yeah,
That was in every single
There
game.
was no sensible soccer, Connor.
oh, I remember Sensible Soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the best football game I ever played.
Of course,
And
Madden
they have the player's name, not necessarily the same player. Like I'll give you a case in point. Brian McClare was Brian E. Clare.
Yeah, 'cause they didn't have the licensing. That's right. Yeah.
Brian E. Clare
Rod Hullis instead
with a
of
sweet
Rude
pass.
Oh my god!
Here we go. This is for the Patriots to get into field goal range. They go for it on the left-hand side, doesn't get it. So it looks like the Patriots might go for a long field goal, but they might just kneel it out and end the half.
Did you play Madden, Shane? Were you a Madden fan?
Oh, yeah, I still play, man.
Still play?
I still have it, yeah. But like in Classic, if you pay for this like subscription for EA, you get last year's Madden for free.
Oh.
So I'm Madden to Madden 24, but not 25. I also bought the college football game when it came out.
Because
Yeah.
it's
My
Madden 95 was the first one I ever played. Would you believe?
Yeah, my
that's
first one was
30
Madden.
years ago now.
My first one, Madden 11. That was my first Madden.
I was going to suggest it, and they're doing it. I said at this stage you go
Just
for Hail
Hail
Mary.
Mary.
Yeah.
We're having a Madden conversation here.
The Hail May. Here's it coming.
Oh, he's going to do it. He's going
Yeah,
to.
the 49ers should. They
the
should. It's a
49ers
no-brainer.
nearly got one last night. Let's see if Pages can get one here. No, picked off.
Oh well, that's not going to work for a stat number now, is it?
Who
Well, it
cares?
does, yeah, sadly, but it's effectively a punt.
Oh, I know. Yeah, there's no problem.
Craig's up saying Shane is wearing Maybelline. Do I look like I've got makeup on?
You always look like you have makeup on.
Yeah.
You wear makeup.
Very well
No, I don't wear makeup. Did you think I'd say yes to that? All right, so I guess before we take a break, I guess our views on how this first half has gone. I mean, interesting. This look, the Patriots come into this at 21-10. I keep saying victors. They're in the lead, 21 points to 10.
He's
Turnovers
done it again, Connor.
Turnovers has been the key to the game. Frontal pressure has been the key to the game. But I think the Patriots offense will be coming in and trying to ask themselves, how can we try to make more out of the opportunities we're getting? Because they're getting a significant amount of opportunities against a Texas team who have been passing it. When they're passing it well, they're able to get it well, but there are a lot of turnover-worthy plays, and there's no run game to speak of.
It's not like it's going to require the any given Sunday speech from D'Amico Ryans either to rally the Texans here. He's looking at his troops going, like, we haven't even played, like, we haven't even started, and we're still well in this game. We get the kickoff in the second half, we ram it down their throats, and it's a one-score game. Just go for it, lads.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if they were to find a way to go down and get a touchdown. Would you go for 2 points and make it a field goal type of game?
Yeah.
You got to swing here. You got one half of football left here. You know, this is.
You were talking about kicking field goals earlier. Now it's 2-point conversion, swinging for the fences the whole way.
Isn't this a situation where you got to be aggressive now?
No,
You got to be aggressive. This is like they're down by 11. They've had some bright spots, predominantly on offense. Or sorry, defense. They're not in this game. You touched on their kind. This game should be outside. Even there, like if things go a different way, they're kicking a field goal to win by 2 touchdowns. It's an 11-point game.
Look at that stat line for CJ Stroud: 10 of 26, way below 50%, 124 yards passing, 4 interceptions. What's the quarterback rating on that?
I don't
it's a
even
matter
know.
of interest.
But what's interesting as well, but then you look at that, CJ Stroud hasn't been sacked so far.
27.2. 27.2.
Sorry, I hadn't refreshed the page yet.
Here's the stats, rushing stats. Texans 8 yards, Patriots 53. But yet the Patriots have lost 36 yards on 3 sacks. 36 yards lost in sacks the Patriots have had. Offensive line, I think, is a problem for both of these teams, but they're affecting them in different ways. And the Patriots are taking the losses and having to punt it away, whereas Texans are giving away a lot of these turnover-worthy passes. Interesting as well, time possession is quite even over both teams because they both keep giving away to the same extent. Houston will be able to get more first downs. The Patriots, 1 of 8 third down efficiency. Again, probably not great from how the Patriots offense has been playing for the game so far. So, look, I don't think either of these teams will be coming in the confidence. And to be honest, the real winners from the way that this game has been playing out in the first half, probably the Denver Broncos. I imagine they're probably looking pretty confident of how sloppy both of these teams are and saying, whoever we get in our house next week, the Broncos defense may be able to hold up enough and get enough turnovers and keep that game alive.
Short break.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to go back to a few comments beforehand. So Kieran O'Reilly saying, my makeup's fabulous, and asking, is Connor on the L'Oreal? Are you on the L'Oreal? You swear we're all on makeup here now. We're in the studio. We actually
there is no makeup.
You know I'm worth it, obviously. You know I'm worth it.
Like I use moisturizer coming in, Vaseline moisturizer, and that's about it. That's about as far as it goes.
Kieran did make no comment about me. That's fine. I'm happy with that. Stay as it is.
I implore everybody to make as many comments about Brian's appearance as
there's
possible.
no makeup studio here this evening.
Talk of balls, lads, are saying Shane's makeup was on point. Thanks very much. And Kieran O'Reilly then following up by saying the Texans just need to regroup and do the basics and get back into this game. Surely they have to run it at some stage. I think that's a very
the point they're making. They have to find a way to run the ball in the second half.
Great work around your eyes as well. It's tough. Just,
really going off kilter here.
Oh my God.
The eye is rejecting the pencil.
Well, it's funny because I think I need to apply some more foundations. So I think I might go to a quick 5-minute break and we'll be back when the action starts here. So yeah, go on. Do you want to send us out while I do all the mess around the laptop? No, I'm trying to throw it to you. Come on.
Like, well, you just wrapped up and then you threw to me. Like you didn't. It wasn't a very generous throw. I have to say.
That was an informal wrap up.
You should have intercepted it. That's what it was there for.
Let me throw a bit of hot sauce on the wrap and say we will be back in a couple of minutes after we take a quick break for halftime and get our own custard cream and tea in. This is your chance to experience the NFL like never before. The Irish NFL show is touching down stateside, and we want you on the team. Explore iconic football towns: Chicago, Green Bay, New York, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and make memories with fellow Irish NFL fans on the trip of a lifetime. We've partnered with Bernard Hayes Travel, a trusted travel partner with over 30 years experience. We look after everything: flights, accommodation, transfers, match tickets, social events, and everything in between. An unforgettable experience. Picture yourself in the stands at Soldier Field, Lambeau, or MetLife, roaring on your team. Register your interest today at irishnflshow.com/tours. Don't just watch the game, live it.
Don't forget the overlays.
Welcome back to the Irish NFL Show and to our live watch along at the Texans Patriots AFC divisional game. It's two-score game at the halftime, despite the fact that the Texans have turned the ball over 4 times. And Shane, the Texans do receive the kickoff in the second half. They can't play much worse, can they?
Not on offense, anyway. On defense, I mean, like the defense is still managing to get plenty of pressure in. They got a couple of turnovers off Drake May. It's been interesting to know that their pressure game is definitely what they're going for. But on offense, I mean, CJ Stroud has thrown 4 interceptions in the first half. He's completed far less than 50% of his passes. Run game, it's like they haven't even. It's like the concept of running the ball hasn't made it to Space City. They care too much about trying to keep it in the air. Of course, in the city with that gave us the NASA space program. So I don't know. It's they really need a change of approach here. I'm looking to see who the players to come up, because if CJ Stroud is going to keep with this pass game, he needs receivers not only to make athletic, physical catches, but to get yards after catch as well and break a couple of tackles. And that's something we haven't seen much from them either. So interesting to know how this is going. I'm just chatting to a couple of friends of mine who are in Foxborough, and the atmosphere there is optimistic. To say the least. So
just looking at D'Amico Ryans there, giving the halftime interview to Lisa Salters, not a bother on him. Like, I know he's cool at the best of times, but as he was just saying there, like we can get right back in this game. Game's not over.
But there's only 11 points in it. I mean, of course they can get a touchdown on this drive here, and it just like how you look at this game becomes completely different. Again, like, this Texans offense can be productive if it just stays accurate. It's not like the Patriots defense is shutting them down whenever they are completing passes.
Well, they shut them down essentially for the entirety of the second quarter, Shane.
Yeah, but I think I think most of that is based on Stroud mistakes. Well, I'd say cut them out. I think.
The pressure has been too much up front for that offensive line, which has led to Stroud making these mistakes. Don't get me wrong, I agree. He's had a really difficult game. I
still think he's had more time in the pocket than his play has been reflecting. A really nice one there.
I agree 100%, Shane. Like it's a couple of really poor throws. It's not like he's been under crazy pressure. He's made some bad decisions.
That was a really nice one to Hutchinson. Managed to get some space off of Christian Gonzalez. So that's exactly what they
it's not like he's having I know the stat line is terrible, but it's not like he's having a complete stinker and he can do no right. This is the maddening thing, and this has been the CJ Stroud experience for certain parts of this season, where it's just so up and down. It's so sawtooth. He makes a great throw like that, and then he throws an interception.
Here comes again over the middle. Oh, ball is out. Ball is out. Who gets it? The Patriots are on it again. Another turnover. What way are they calling it?
Patriots.
They're calling it Patriots ball. Unbelievable scenes.
He's got 3 steps in possession there. That looked like a completed catch and a fumble to me.
There's more about did he maintain the ball before he went out of bounds?
Was Hudson down before the ball came out? So
yes.
Yeah, his knee was down
there. Yeah,
his knee was down, and then the ball was ripped by Gonzalez. So yeah, I think that is it.
But they're going to
call it first down.
They won't get reviewed unless they challenge it.
Yeah, so they're going to have to challenge it. But I think
did they not review turnovers automatically?
They didn't last night in overtime.
Yeah,
wasn't that the big thing that
New York on the case.
After review,
Connor.
We're waiting for the call.
He needs to turn on his microphone.
The ref link goes down at just the worst time.
Runner is down by contact, so it's not Patriots ball after all.
So he said after review, the ruling on the field is that the runner was down. That wasn't the ruling on the field.
Yeah,
you got it wrong, mate.
After review, what I said was always right in the first place.
On mature reflection.
Connor, we were talking about CJ Stroud in the first half of some of the plays, and don't get me wrong, he's been erratic. But there's also some plays where, like for example, one of the interception, which was to Hutchinson, where it was put into a position where the wide receiver should be catching the ball. It's a combination of everything as it's unfolded in the first half. CJ Stroud's been erratic, inconsistent. Players are not stepping up early on. Two throws that really should have been caught. It's a combination of everything so far, but obviously it's predominantly down to CJ Stroud as well.
Well, I know they're 11 points down here, and clearly they're going to need to expedite, to use the phrase, what they're doing on offense, but they've got to be able to run the ball as well. Otherwise, the Patriots are going to be able to pin their ears back, and they're not going to bite in any of this play action.
Oh, he has time to run here again. Always sitting on the right hand side. I think that's definitely his comfortable side when Stroud is throwing that, hitting Higgins there.
But
He got more time there.
But to Connor's point, you can't continuously throw the ball. They can't throw the ball every play. At some stage, he's going to get swallowed up. They have to find a way to run the ball. What I will give him credit for, like to come out 11 points down, start the second half and put this drive together. We don't know necessarily if they're going to score, but right now it's looking like they're in good field position. They got to punch it home.
We saw them do this on the field goal drive very early in the game, where they did stitch together a really good drive. They were moving the ball well. They had good momentum. Here we go.
Houston ran the ball for 8 yards. That's double their output for the day, I think. Just it's Gubbins.
That Marks again.
Chubb with the run.
This is the difficulty as well, kind of. They don't really have. They're not like the Bears or have two really efficient running backs they can call upon. Like it's like they're relying on a rookie running back predominantly.
They got Woody and Chubb though. Stiffened their resolve a little bit.
Well, they're going with the experience, haven't they? Like they brought Chubb in at the start of the second half. Clearly, like Marks wasn't doing the job right. We're going to go back to Chubb.
They do need to get their Chubb going in the second half.
Good thing it's after 10 o'clock. We can say these things. Irish time, that is.
I'm just ignoring all those little.
Oh yeah, of course you are. You're marking them all down. Yeah. You're waiting to strike. You're waiting in the long grass.
No, I'm not going to strike. Do you know who's going to strike? CJ Stroud in about 2 seconds.
Here. Is that you calling it? Is that you're calling the touchdown here from CJ? So you think he's going to pass it in? Who's catching it? Come on, call it. Be the Tony Romo. 10 years ago.
Yesterday when he called it. Yeah. Well, they're going to go.
The Texan tush push. Oh,
he got it.
Yeah, I was going to say he looked a bit piggly there, but he managed to get it in the end.
This CJ Stroud performance, though, or at least how he was in the first half, reminded me of friend of yours and mine, Brian Paul Bradley, who's a big Packers fan. Shout out to Paul if he's watching. He used to always say that if you looked at the Packers receiving chart for the years when Jay Cutler was playing in Chicago, there were Green Bay players who caught more touchdown passes from Cutler than Chicago players.
Pick sixes.
So many big sixes.
Seems to be a QB. They're running it again, and they're getting. Well, that's the thing. I mean, remember what I was saying earlier about who makes the halftime adjustments on offense. The Texans have clearly realized that run game is an area which their offensive line might be better prepped for than the pass game in terms of all the pressure that CJ Stroud was getting, and a change to try and get some more of the run game. But also to your point, Brian, you just can't be passing the ball 20,000 times in the course of a game. So
because it's a short yardage, I'd be calling a fake handoff and try to get your tight end out. Dalton Schultz.
I was going to say this is 4 down territory. No. Just behind the line of scrimmage, caught down there, so it's still 3rd and 2 again.
You need to mix it up there as well.
This is 4 down territory for you, Brian.
No, you don't. You kick a field goal here.
Inside the 10-yard line. Get a touchdown here.
You love 4th down territory, don't you?
But I love asking you.
In this instance, no, I would suggest they'll probably kick a field goal because I think they'd be glad just to get points on the board at the start of the second half. For me here, this is a fake handoff, and you're trying to get some player out in the perimeter. You look for your tight end to kind of get a mismatch. Dalton Schultz end zone touchdown. There you go, Shane. I've called it.
Right.
Ready?
He's on the call. This is where it's happening for the Houston Texans.
The play clock's running down, so they're going to have to call a timeout.
Yeah, timeout, Houston.
Which is
that's one of those ones we'll come back to later, I guarantee you. Coughing up his timeout in a situation like that.
9 and a half to go in your third quarter, and you're already using your first timeout.
But think about the importance of getting this job done. Because I have a funny feeling they're going to be, they probably see themselves in 4 down territory. If they turn this ball over, I think it's almost. I could see the rationale behind using the timeout there.
Well, they didn't manage the clock efficiently. They let it run down. They had no choice to pull it. But at the same time, this is probably arguably the biggest play they've had on offense throughout the course of the game in terms of trying to get back in.
Yeah, is your timeout more valuable now, or is your timeout more valuable when you need the last possession and you need to keep time with the clock to drive down the field and win the game? Like this is going to come back to haunt them.
We'll mark that.
Put yourself in short and long down, don't you? Again, if you. Do you know what they haven't done either, Connor? They haven't utilised his legs. He's a good running quarterback.
And he did pick up a first down in a scramble earlier, but they haven't. There's been no design QB runs, no RPO action. Who doesn't love a bit of RPO action?
Here now.
Oh, great pass break up there.
Marcus Jones. It's funny how like
will you riddle me this one, Shane, by the way? Why is it a pass defensed and not a pass defended in the NFL? They're always talking about passes defensed.
defensed.
Defense. It's not even a word.
I don't know. I mean, they spell defense wrong anyway with an S, so maybe it's just like, I suppose that they all love aggressiveness instead of aggression. And we love that aggressiveness. That's also a great one. And Tom Brady loves talking about.
I hear analysts all the time talk about how multiple a certain offense is. Varied. It's varied. There's a perfectly good English word for precisely that scenario. It's varied.
Well,
do you agree with kicking the field goal, Connor?
Based on how poor their offense has been and how close the game is, yeah. Like now it's a one-possession game.
Yeah.
And to Shane's point, their defense has been playing well. Like, it's not as though the Patriots have been going up and down the field on them. So they're well in this. Just don't panic. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Don't panic.
You should go in the locker room and have that conversation with them.
Just hear called the
To Will Ferrell from Old School. We've come too far. We just got to keep our composure.
To call earlier to about Schultz touchdown. Schultz out of the game. I think Kieran that says Schultz is
okay. I wasn't aware of that.
It hasn't quite come through in our commentary in the year, so we probably missed one or two things like
we were
that.
talking. That's when we were having the whole 6-7 conversation. That's probably when Schultz got blown up.
I blame the makeup. 6 or
Maybe
7
he's born with it.
makeup.
Maybe
Charles 2 receptions, 47 yards out of the game. Again, he's another player. Like, he's had a really good season. He's tight end that can do a lot in the receiving game. Another loss for him.
The food ads during the game kill me, by the way. I get so hungry sitting here watching all this fast food.
It depends, because like Popeyes are like, okay, fair enough.
What's Popeyes?
What's Popeyes?
What's Popeyes?
Oh,
how do you not like food?
Doesn't like pop culture, doesn't like Popeyes.
I like Popeyes.
And doesn't like Pop Douglas getting the touchdown earlier on. I was in a. Where was it?
I'm still stunned by people in the buffet last year in New Orleans that went up 5 times. Why do you need to go up the second time? You get what you need the first time, and walk out the restaurant.
I hesitate to criticize people who hit the buffet multiple times now. I'm a serial buffet killer.
Think about how multiple that buffet offense is.
Hey!
The lady had difficulty bringing hot water as well. She couldn't seem to fathom the concept.
There was no food defense
so I can put my Irish tea back in.
Who drinks tea in New Orleans? Oh. There's going to be some crack now all in San Francisco. I was bickering about breakfast.
Bickering about breakfast. There's food in the room.
What?
There's little biscuits that come with the tea.
The little Lotus biscuit. Is it Lotus?
Biscoff, yeah.
The Biscoff, yeah.
Time me over.
Till when?
To the next
3 minutes after.
The next day or something.
Just
Oh my
stop.
God, Scrubs is back.
Oh.
That's a TV show, Brian. It was,
I'm well aware of
a popular comedy some years ago.
Yes, Wednesday the 25th of February. I better, I'll update my wife. She's a fan of the show.
See, Lindsay has much better taste than you.
Didn't think we'd be talking about Scrubs now on our Watchalong program, but again, we are between drives.
We
are between drives. Yeah.
Scrub is a guy who doesn't get no love from me.
I was waiting for that. That came on in a bar last year, and people were like, "Dubby's singing that."
I was going to reference the scene from The Other Guys where the captain keeps making references to TLCs. Are you doing this on purpose? I was going to reference it, but there's no point reference. It's gone right over Brian's head.
And probably my head as well, to be fair.
You've never seen... Well, that's another one we got to add to this. You've got to watch The Other Guys.
I have seen The Other Guys.
And you don't remember the TLC bit.
It's been a long time since I've seen The
Other Guys.
The Peacock, Captain. You got to let me fly.
Oh, yeah. No, see, now I remember it. I remember it.
Yeah.
I'm going back to focus on the next drive. What other guys...
But Michael Keaton tells him, guys, don't go chasing waterfalls. That's the second time you've dropped a TLC reference. Are you doing this on purpose? You got to rewatch that film, Shane. I'm disappointed in you.
I'm still trying to watch things for the first time. I have a Chevy Chase documentary on my downloads and save for the plane on the way over.
That's good. You'll enjoy that.
A very good one.
I'm looking forward to catching up.
I'll be too busy watching the X's and O's, getting myself ready for the big one.
Well, but there's like 11 hours. I'll have some time for Chevy Chase, and sometimes for talking about how the offense of the Patriots and the Rams are we set up.
Is that what you're suggesting now? Is it Patriots Rams Super Bowl?
You have this as this is the Rams revenge game then in that scenario, is it?
It would definitely be a Sean McVay revenge game. In that instance, but I mean, you're showing a revenge game.
Was Vrabel still playing for that Patriots team? No, he was gone by that stage, wasn't he?
Vrabel was gone.
for the second Rams Super Bowl or the first?
Second
one.
No, Vrabel was coaching in Houston.
At that stage.
He was coaching in Houston at that stage.
Okay.
But for the first one against the St. Louis Rams, Vrabel was on that team. In New Orleans. I am. It is funny though. An aspect of the way the NFC is landing with all these NFC West teams being so good is, and John Chapman alerted me to this a couple of days ago, is the fact that either the Seahawks or the Rams, and it could very well be one of those two teams, not to preempt what could potentially happen tonight in the Rams and the Bears. The idea of one of those two teams winning the Super Bowl in the home of the Niners, especially when you consider how much those two teams in particular cannot stand the San Francisco 49ers, to win a Super Bowl in their home would be something, I think, like an extra little cherry on top for somebody from Seattle or Los Angeles. Going back to the AFC,
down play here.
Going back to the AFC, we're 3rd and 6 for Drake Mays. Again, backed up. Offensive line again. It's just
Texans
terrible.
have it.
Texas happens, and this is what, just over 30 yards away from being in. The amount of times that left-hand side would be completely taken over. Right-hand side, there's nothing standing up. I don't think Will Campbell has had a particularly strong game.
And Will Campbell came out swinging after the Chargers game, after all the criticism that he got. He gave up 5 pressures in that game.
Again, with Anderson, though, really, really nicely managed to get his hand on the ball here. But this Patriots offensive line has not had a good game at all today. And in fairness, Drake May here as well turned his ball so quickly because he was very directed at trying to pass the ball on the right side. That left him completely vulnerable to the attack.
I don't think he was aware that Anderson was coming around the line. Look at him here, he's totally focused on getting the ball out.
No awareness on that at all. No.
When they talk about bend and arm length, these are the things that scouts are going in depth on at the draft, to find a guy who can do that. Like, that's textbook.
To bend the break. Yeah. To bend the break coming from the outside of the perimeter. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, Will Campbell coming in.
Turnover.
No, Will Campbell. Kieran Boyle saying Will Campbell's getting schooled by Will Anderson. That's 100%. Oh, and sack on Stroud. Neither offensive line is playing good football here today. It's like this is the game that offensive line forgot.
New England and Houston, neither an offensive stronghold.
Forget the Micheál Lemieux. I heard it again plenty over the course of today's broadcast.
But every time they get an opportunity to capitalize on their own turnovers, like, that's a huge drop. What is it, 6 or 7 yards off that one?
6, 7.
Don't even mean that. But now is that kind of, now he's out of field goal range. It's 2nd and 18. Still a couple of downs to bring it back up. But I mean, that sack was pretty significant. We're talking about the fact that in the first half,
a big play there.
In the first half, Stroud didn't lose any yards for sacks. He made other mistakes. But I mean, I think you'd rather take sacks than give the ball away, because at least it gives you an opportunity to come back in. Now they're back in field goal range, still only 6 yards away from getting a first down and being
it seems a long time ago since you and I, Brian, were talking about the Patriots driving down the field and putting the foot on the throat. I mean, the game was there to be killed at that point.
And I'd say about the 2 drives so far, Connor, in the start of the second half, when he's had time, he's actually delivered so far, with the exception of that third down play. But right now, when he's getting time,
see, much smarter decision by Stroud there.
This is the option that he gives you.
A lot better.
This is the option he gives you, which I suggested earlier, Connor. They haven't used him to get him out on the perimeter with his legs, because when he gets out, he can do damage.
Interesting here, though. Again, look at the options he has to go to, but he still decided to make the run. But I think he's learning now that even if he's sort of 50-50, but there is a gap there, just to go for it instead of trying to force a pass in a situation where the pass may not be available.
He's living for another drive there. He knows he's got the first down. There's no need to be reckless.
Yeah,
get out of bounds.
Smart play, very smart.
11 yards rushing. He had one start the second half. So it's a 10-yard rush. Can they capitalize?
Again, really.
Good tackle.
But again, there's a lot more confidence behind the way this Houston offense is playing at the moment. They just seem calmer than the first half.
Connor alluded to when he watched D'Amico Ryan's interview, very much, okay, we're down by 11, but we haven't done a tap here today.
That's just one of those burn the tape moments. Like, forget about the first half. Like, we're still in this. Go out and win the second half and you'll win the game.
Yeah, very much so. Like I was saying, it was only 11-point game at halftime. 8-point game now, and a funny feeling it's going to be... it's going to be pretty close to getting tied because, Chubb not going anywhere, though. Would he slip?
Oh, yeah.
Ball
he's coughed it up. Was he down?
Gone. I think he's down. He may be down.
They're giving the
that is unbelievable. They're giving... Where is that? That is...
that ball's out.
Christian Gonzalez.
The ball is out.
Christian Gonzalez with the hand in.
That's definitely a fumble.
It is a fumble, 100%. My word.
Another opportunity for the Texans to get themselves back in the game. They just can't help themselves right now, haven't they?
This game has got more turnovers than the Bake-Off. Unbelievable.
Hey.
It's just
You've been storing that one. That was way too smooth. That was one that you had in your own baking.
very much
cupboard.
so. I feel like I deserve some form of Hollywood handshake.
8 turnovers
from
in total in the game. 5 for the Patriots, 3 for the...
Eight turnovers is crazy.
Sorry, 5 by the Texans, 3 by the Patriots. What's this? Anybody got the a playoff record in terms of turnovers in the game?
If any man does, it's either probably Craig Rigdon has a stat in there. Oh my God, he's already sent it in. 8 total turnovers from the two teams. The most is Packers versus Rams in 2002. See, Craig is in there with the stat. He's a stat man. Can I sing again? You didn't like me singing on the AV Club during the week.
Oh, that was horrendous.
I doesn't like anyone singing. I've stopped singing. I just was.
I don't.
Shamed
I thought you'd be going mad for the karaoke rooms.
We're not here to have fun, Shane. We're not here to have fun. We're here to talk ball.
You know, we should actually
We're not here to have fun. All right, Brian Banachek over here.
We should put the San Francisco playlist. We have an Irish NFL show Super Bowl Spotify playlist. We should put it out in the social channels and let people have a rattle at it. San Francisco bands, songs about San Francisco, or songs that are
Doesn't help. It
associated
doesn't
with
help that
California.
your own people within the group have already deleted it after Spotify.
That's really mean.
Yeah.
Put a lot of work into that playlist.
Not particularly liking this song. I'll move on to the next. Not particularly liking this song.
I listened to it yesterday. So there you go. I
Thanks, Shane.
listened to it yesterday. Got myself in the mood. Nice bit of
I listened
credence
to
in
it on
there.
the way over here.
I'm joking. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You missed a few songs, a few eye openers. I threw one in there.
Oh, which one did you throw in?
I felt you should have the Tony Bennett song in
I
there.
did. I put that one in. I did put that
Okay,
one in. Yeah.
that's good. Good. Any more?
Gordon Bennett.
Tony Bennett.
Gordon Bennett.
Gordon Bennett with that particular play. Like, every Texans look like they're going to get themselves back in with even a field goal of 5-point deficit, and then of course they turn it over.
But this one here, the most ever in terms of turnovers is 12, which happened on 3 occasions. 12 turnovers is the NFL record, which we're kind of on pace for because we've had 8, and we're about 2/3 through the game. So with another third of the game to go, we could probably get another 4 in between these two teams.
Unlikely, I would have thought.
Well, so the way the game has been going, how can you convince either of these teams? They need the what are those old GA sticky gloves? You know,
Oh, the Mikasa ones.
That's what they need. They need to make sure to get a proper grab on the ball, but also
Kieran O'Donovan is bringing a pair of the Micassas to San Francisco. Not for any particular ball catching. He just likes to feel them. Are you going to wear them around town?
he's going to wear the gloves around. Is he going to be like Tom Brady?
He said he's going to wear them to the buffet so he can grab the food as quickly as possibly can.
You don't need to go 5 times.
The last thing
You
we
just
want
go
is anybody
once.
going hungry. Right, we're back in action.
He's never let a chicken wing drop that far.
Offensive line again, terrible, just terrible. This is pen thrown across the studio level now. How that offensive line is holding up, it really isn't strong. Runner being tackled 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and the Houston defense, which is excellent.
The Patriots are doing well in the rush. Connor, they've had 60 yards of total rushing, where the Houston have had 41. I mean, it doesn't really fill you with confidence on either side right now. To be honest.
Very true.
Kieran said, "It's a San Francisco playlist. There must be third eye blind and Counting Crows." I didn't know Counting Crows was from San Francisco.
There's probably some songs related to San Francisco on their album or something to that effect.
Potentially.
Do you like Counting Crows? Do you, Shane? Do you like Counting Crows?
I don't have enough time to count crows. I'm too busy trying to count how many times the Patriots offensive line has let me down.
I'll throw hanging around in there. No, they're from Berkeley. Yeah, that'll work.
Berkeley is. It's University Cal.
Good show. Yeah, we'll throw hanging around on there. I love that song. And also, if you watched the Netflix Receiver documentary, George Kittle sings "Hanging Around" at one point. So absolutely nailed on San Francisco connection. We'll put that on the playlist. Great show.
Patriots are going to punt this. They managed,
and they're deep in their own.
Deep in their own. Like go to Stevens on the right hand side. Is that booing? Do I hear booing?
No. Do you know on that fumble?
They're saying Boo Earns. Boo Earns. Who was saying Boo Earns? I was saying Boo Earns.
Connor, do you know on that fumble? How many times do you see players who, after the first initial block, where you think they may go down or the play is dead, try to do that? Just
the little extra,
and you say, live for another day. Take the play off.
Another stop by the Texans defense after a turnover. That's the line from Joe Buck, and that's pretty much been the way this game has gone, I think, for both teams for a significant chunk of it. Good punt, at least, to put the Texans back in their own half. But I mean,
just 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Like they're quick. They're getting to the stage now. I'm not saying it's desperation stage and 8-point game to a quarter, but it doesn't have a feel of an 8-point game. It feels like the Patriots have it. And it's going to take a lot for this Texans team to overcome where they're at.
I don't think this is over. There's still
that's
definitely not
That's
over.
the fandom inside of you.
No, but I just don't think this is over for the Texans. I think like they're one decent drive and just not spilling the ball up because their offense was playing better, were enough for the fact that they just coughed up the ball. In terms of like the quality of play calling, design, and cohesion amongst all the different parts, in terms of being able to execute what they were to do. Look, the end result was they coughed up the effing football. So that doesn't really matter. But I still think that there's still plenty of gusto in this Texans team.
I might
Kieran O'Reilly, by
use
the way,
this opportunity, by the way, to say that Mark here asked me for a score prediction before we went on air, and I said 21-19 Patriots. So 2 more field goals for the Texans, and that's in. So I don't need the Patriots scoring here.
Probably more likely a touchdown for the Texans and a failed 2-point conversion. I think it will probably be the more likely way to get.
I don't care how we get there, as long as I'm right. Nothing beats being right. Everybody knows that.
Nothing beats. So that's trying to think.
20.
What way do we pick tonight's Rams-Bears game? By the way,
We all went Bears. I think. Did we all go
was there
Bears?
4? We didn't all go for the Bears.
So it's 4 of the 7 of us picked Bears.
Yeah, I was going to say
who were the underdogs. So
I'm 0-2 at the moment in this weekend. I picked the Bills. I picked the Niners.
I'm 2-0, but
I'm
okay.
0-2.
I picked the Bears, Connor, but you can fix me up later, yeah.
right.
The fix is in.
Who went for the Rams? Do we know?
I think Craig went for the Rams.
I went for the Rams.
You did. You just did
Just
that.
the death stare. The death stare I've just gotten across this desk.
Did that out of
My
spite,
word. Connor was about to kick me about the Kildare in that one. What do you mean you went for the Rams?
After my emotional soliloquy, Kieran O'Donovan had tears in his eyes when we were on the show the other night. He still picked the Rams. Actually, Kieran picked the Rams. You're
as
right.
we edge ever closer to that 11:35-37 kickoff, are you still as confident as you were during the week? Sorry, I wouldn't say you were confident.
I wasn't confident. I said I was picking with my heart over my head. I don't want to pick against the Bears because it's been a magical season. I just would love it to continue, and I don't want to pick the Rams, even though I think the Rams probably are going to win, and have the Bears come through and have doubted my own team.
On the makeup point that was sort of kept us going into halftime, we've seen, by the way, there's a new trend around Chicago where a lot of guys will go into nail parlors and get their nails done in Bears colours for the weekend. A bunch of lads all going in just getting their nails and their toenails done as well.
If the Bears make Santa Clara, I'll get my nails done in Bears colours.
You get your nails, toes and
I'm throwing it out right here. It's on record. I'll get my nails done in Bears colours.
I'm putting it that you said that 2 hours and 28 minutes into the broadcast.
I am not staying in Conor Brofan's room anymore.
I don't know how that affects you in any way.
Have you ever got to
Shine out those nails will keep you away.
Have you ever got your nails done? Your toenails done? No. I got them once in Jersey City.
What are we talking about?
I'm just saying. The game is back. The game is back. Yeah. I'm just doing this to annoy Brian. The game is back. Brian, who potentially could be the only correct one out of all of us. Depending on how
we're
this
looking
game
for
goes.
something to do in that down day. It seems like we're leaning into Manny Petty here in San Francisco on our off day while we're in Santa Clara.
You're right, because there really is nowhere to go look at in San Francisco out of all the cities in the world. Oh! That was another turnover-worthy play here.
I can't understand why is he going into an area where there's like four or five defenders.
He's playing like it's the last drive, and it's all for all the marbles. You can still work your way back into this. I don't understand the urgency with this throw. What's he seeing out there?
I don't know what he's going for because there's
2.
Yeah,
and they're converging on the ball. Like
there's 3 guys there, and maybe 2 who could have potentially picked the ball up had it not bounced as luckily as it did for Houston. I mean, God, that was compared to how well they were going in the last drive. That was I feel like he's slipping back into old habits that we were seeing earlier in the half. Again, yeah, I knew he wasn't getting a flag.
He got the flag.
Flag against what's his name?
Jeez, you could hear the Boston coming off that one.
He has.
What's that, ref?
Yeah, I mean it is a flag. Like
smart park.
You smart park. You got the clicker.
He's no eyes on the ball. He's completely pulling him back. It's absolute.
And it's hard to get them in the playoffs. So well done. Yeah, that's about as blatant as you're going to get. As blatant as you remember that famous non-call in the Rams-Saints game, the absolute assault that was non-called by the refs.
At Jay Ungar says, broaden your horizons, Brian.
In what sense?
I don't know.
Culturally, inclusivity. There's a lot of room for improvement.
I don't know whether you want to paint your nails or go and eat some chicken and Popeyes. One or the other would do it. I think.
Oh, both. Okay, let's get our nails done and then get chicken and Popeyes.
That's a good idea. That's a terrible drop pass.
Sorry, this is what I said to you earlier, Connor. Like, as poorly as Stroud has played, players got to take those balls in. That's catchable.
Yeah, Jay, as clarified, paint the nails. Start with the paint the nails.
No, thanks. I'll find an alternative thing to do on my down day. That's your referring to. That has to be caught.
Yeah, that was a lot of poor offensive football in this game.
That's why we picked this one. That's why we picked this one.
But it makes it tense, you know. It makes it interesting. Oh, get him! Oh, there you go. So Ellis coming in at the end. Yes, it was.
Jennings is down.
The hardest hitter north of Rhode Island.
Did Ellis not realise the play was nearly dead anyways?
Why? He needed to go and get the job done.
Oh, what a surprise.
He didn't.
What a surprise.
You have to get in on him. That was a interesting one. So I think that leaves Houston with...
They're on the periphery of field goal range. They're probably going to need a few yards just to get themselves an opportunity to kick a field goal.
Yeah, down to New England 35. They're probably a bit further back than that now. They're closer to the 40.
It's just
so
that force down. Sorry, the play prior to that was the killer.
Yeah,
because they're not scheming throughout the course of the game to get players freely available, and when you do drop a ball like that.
So yeah, so look, there's
Jennings down. We're on an ad break.
There's still plenty of twists to come into this. Again, I just don't know whether, like, is this the kind of game where a punt return, a missed kick, something in that line, a block kick, if this ends up becoming a field goal attempt from far out by the Texans, is that the kind of thing that changes here? Because in a sloppy game, sloppy games don't always just leave themselves as the sloppy offense. It becomes sloppy something else as well, and there's nothing gives as much potential for sloppiness as special teams. So I don't know whether that's the kind of thing that we have to kind of look out for as we look ahead to the rest of the game.
If it's hitting 45, 50 yards out of kicking the field goal, Connor, bear in mind the conditions. Do you trust the kicker to come out and nail it?
It's a lot to put on Fairbairn, isn't it? But like, that's what you're there for. At the same time, I know that we're practically expecting kicks in around the 50-55 zone to be not quite routine, but like, kickers are hitting them 75-80% of the time.
More so the conditions.
These conditions.
Yeah. And if they were to find a way to stick 3 points over here, it's a 5-point game going into the fourth quarter.
Also, the way your defense has been playing, it's not a disaster to give the ball back to the Patriots there.
Hoping that ultimately they get another turnover.
Yeah.
Short yardage.
Or just a stop.
They probably would as well. The way this offensive line is playing. Old man yells at cloud.
I think to your point earlier, despite the Bo Nix injury, the Broncos are going to look at this kind of going, one of these are going to come in here next week.
The Broncos are rubbing their hands. They're looking at these being like, lads, that's the best you can do.
Rubbing their hands and praying for snow in Denver is what they're doing.
Which is quite possible as well. Quite possible. I mean, we talk. I mean, I said earlier that I didn't really get the sense that there was a sort of mile-high advantage. Maybe that was just the fact that Josh Allen and co. just managed to play above it and made mistakes elsewhere. That wasn't necessarily a home field advantage. It was just it was a play calling.
I didn't think that it looked to me like the Bills were anything
overall by the occasion.
Far from it. Like, I mean, they ran all over the Broncos. Their running game was really strong. Like, Josh Allen made plenty of throws in that game as well. Like, it's the fumble before halftime is a killer, and there was that pass that he just slightly overthrew Dawson Knox, which would have been a walk. He would have walked in for a touchdown and won the game right there.
Right, lads. Buckle your belts. Big third down here, as they always say. Stroud. It's a catch, which obviously brings up fourth down, and he managed to get it done. But that was a play which it dropped so low that he didn't get any chance to get any yards after catch. Remember what I was saying earlier? But like,
I think he did well. He just did well to catch the ball.
He did very well. He did. The receiver did a great job to catch the ball. The throw was oddly low. The snow is coming in now. Is just enough for nor'easter coming in to try and maybe just have an effect.
What's the number? What's the number he said there?
This is a heck of
51
a
yard
kick
attempt
from
for Kemi
51
Fairbairn.
yards. This is a heck of a kick if he can land this one.
He hits it. Oh,
Got it.
straight
He's got
over the
it.
black spot. Well, not quite, but
There
still
we
pretty
go.
good. Pretty good. So that 21-19 is now getting closer with your
There you
field
go.
goal
Like if
prediction.
Kemi Fairbairn from Hawaii is hitting kicks in those kind of conditions, where's your cold weather advantage?
Yeah. What's your excuse?
It's incredible,
play.
this game. 21-16. That looks more insightful.
The old 21-19 is still on, lads.
That
Yeah,
one looks
21-19. Are you talking about the San Francisco?
we're looking at very cold, damp weather. But
Yeah.
a weather here where it's just continuous rain for 2 or 3 days in Dublin.
That's going to be good.
And then you look at a bit of San Francisco, and it gives you a glimmer of light. But as you said earlier, as Connor said, poor people at home, looking forward to the end of January, getting into February, a bank holiday weekend, and then you're keeping out about, what was he concerned himself
I just
about?
said I hope it doesn't rain.
Why
That's
don't
all
they
I was
have a
saying.
roof on the stadium in Santa Clara?
In case it rains.
In case it rains.
Sorry, why don't they have?
Have you looked at the average temperature in San Francisco the last week?
About 19-20, yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad, is it?
It's
for
pretty
February?
good. I wasn't complaining. I was just saying, I hope it doesn't rain.
Are you
I
gonna
was just making a wish.
going around in your Bermudas or something to that effect?
What?
You'd be going around in a pair of Bermudas.
Oh, it's the nice kind of like Hawaiian type shirt I had in New Orleans last year,
Shane going around Haight Asbury. Soft day, lads.
What's going on? Well,
You'd be
boys.
slipping up to Whitehall before you head off with it. Shout out to Colin Cronin, big Broncos fan, obviously playing in the AFC Championship game next week. He can look after you with a few shorts.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. He is a Broncos fan. He's been very vocal over the last 24 hours.
He has some little branded stuff. That's the real drip. The stuff that's like going to Lidl, get their clothes, like the little slides. I think Aldi's stuff doesn't quite slap as much
From the middle aisle, the Isle of Shite.
but that's where you get all the good clothes. But actual like branded. I'm after hitting the mic.
Wrecking the gaff. You're
I
wrecking.
know, yeah. Anyway, back on what we can expect here from
what do the
Stroud's
Patriots
offense.
got to do here? He's got to take a long, heavy drive.
Really,
take the
Lead the
momentum.
clock. Yeah.
really, what the Patriots are looking for is one big play that is
Here
we go.
Hunter Henry.
like a methodical drive. I actually don't think they have
No, it's
the right
Hooper.
stamina
Austin Hooper.
to get.
Still
That
playing.
play right there, Shane, you called it out right early in the game, how Josh McDaniels has given these opportunities and working in these kind of checkdowns for May, roll him out of the pocket, give him something short, yards after the catch opportunities. Like, that's the perfect type of play for these conditions.
That's a very Josh McDaniels play. What we just saw there,
classically good drive starter.
I think like there would have been a wide receiver there for him to go for that. Against other defenses, he might have gone for the shot. But interested to see what he does here. John Drake got to do something. No, just takes the sack.
He tried to call the exact same play twice there. Wheel around, try get your tight end available. Shut down. Drake May did similar to what you did earlier.
But I was saying what the Patriots need here. I think I don't know if they have either the stamina or the play calls for a long considered drive. They need one big hit just to sort of reinvigorate them just before the fourth quarter comes in.
They're going to let the clock run out here today in the third quarter.
Yeah. Oh no, I think they're going to stop
Watch
it.
this left side again, though. Like, it's, I won't say porous. It hasn't been that bad, but it's definitely
It's been under
here, if not out close to breaking.
There you go.
It's an average to below average offensive line that has been under siege by a really, really good front seven. Not. I mean, we should be giving credit to where credit is due in how strong that Houston defense has been in up front and getting their pressure, and they've just got hit after hit after hit, and made some really good play calls. So
Patriots didn't score the entirety of the third quarter. Did very little on offense throughout the course of that third quarter.
I think we're going to take a quick 30 seconds to sort of fill up our teacups, and we'll be back with the final quarter.
This is your chance to experience the NFL like never before. The Irish NFL show is touching down stateside, and we want you on the team. Explore iconic football towns: Chicago, Green Bay, New York, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and make memories with fellow Irish NFL fans on the trip of a lifetime. We've partnered with Bernard Hayes Travel, a trusted travel partner with over 30 years' experience. We look after everything: flights, accommodation, transfers, match tickets, social events, and everything in between. An unforgettable experience. Picture yourself in the stands at Soldier Field, Lambeau, or MetLife, roaring on your team. Register your interest today at irishnflshow.com/tours. Don't just watch the game, live it. This is Ireland. Rugged, wild, and endlessly captivating. A land shaped by history, where ancient castles whisper stories of the past. Where world-class links golf connects you to breathtaking landscapes. And where centuries of craftsmanship and culture are blended to produce world-class whiskies, savoured as music and laughter fill the air. But every journey with us is about people, place, and authentic experiences you'll never forget. This is more than a trip. It's the Dunes and Drams experience. Discover Ireland with us and make memories that will last a lifetime. We're back live with the Patriots Texans as we head into the fourth quarter. It's a 5-point game, 21-16 to the New England Patriots. And Brian, it's been a very frustrating third quarter for the Patriots. Like, they went fumble and punt on their two drives. Like, Texans took a lot of time off the clock, although not getting a huge amount of points. But as we were saying after halftime, they were well in it. They didn't need to do much to get themselves into a one-possession game. They've done that now. And New England needs something.
They do need something. Conor, we just touched on there prior to that drive. The end of the. I'm just looking at the play here.
Yeah, they do need something, and they might have just got something from this pass interference call against England.
We spoke there just prior to the end of the third quarter. What they need to do here, they need to establish a long drive, take some time off the clock. It's too many 3 and outs. They were on a third and long there again. They couldn't move the ball efficiently. They've got a break there. Right call. Seen it there. Stingley all over them. They need to rebound off what the Texans have done. Once the Texans have only scored 6 points, it's a 5-point game right now. They need to put themselves in a situation. Put this back in the onus on the Texans. Texans going to have to make plays to win this game. Patriots just have to methodically work the ball. They're now in a position where they could offset that field goal. It'll be interesting to see what happens now.
Henderson's had a great rookie season coming out of Ohio State. First half, a little bit shaky. He's really grown into the year over the course of the season, especially he's been giving him more snaps when Ramon Receivers was basically told, look, you fumble the ball too much, you have to take a step back. But it'll be interesting to now know whether he can have a playoff impact, because I think something really needs to happen for the Patriots spark here. The run game might be the place to do it, because the pass game has been hit and miss, but so much of offense for both of these teams have been. And the run game gets caught behind the line of scrimmage. The curse of the the curse of the Irish NFL commentator has hit Trevion Henderson quite hard in the face. Not quite as hard as the Houston Texans defense.
But the damage was done on the first play, because they've picked up a good chunk of yards. They're not putting themselves in third and long here, Conor. That allows them to call a number of plays.
lineman falls over there. That's what happens.
A field goal will also put the Patriots 8 points up again, which still forces the Texans, should they score a touchdown, into a 2-point conversion. So it's not completely wasted. And the part of the field they're in means that a field goal is possible if they don't convert this third down here. But as a pass from Drake way down the right hand side. Oh, unbelievable!
Outrageous!
Unbelievable!
Wow. What a catch.
What a throw, what a catch that was on a third down shot to the right hand side to
killer play.
Booty.
That's the killer
That's
play.
what I was saying. That's the Patriots needed, is an absolute dagger. That's what unbelievable. One-handed catch from Booty.
Stop.
Unbelievable.
That's Stingley.
Unbelievable.
Is that
Filthy.
Stingley on
What
him
a
there?
play. That's Lassiter, is it?
Lassiter. Yeah. No, Stingley.
Oh, it is
This
Stingley. Sorry.
Against Stingley, who
So they put that up on your best
given the call,
cornerback.
the pass interference call earlier.
Well, it's because he's your best cornerback that you end up having to corral that in with one hand. Like, it's good coverage, but there's nothing you can do against that. Perfectly placed ball and then just an unbelievably athletic catch.
I was not expecting that to be the play call in that moment. I was wondering whether some kind of run to keep them inside field goal range.
It's under review.
It's under. Don't tell me that.
All scoring plays get reviewed.
It doesn't surprise me they went for that particular play. It's a bit like the Broncos.
Does he have possession when he goes down? He does.
He does. He survives the ground. That's all good.
Yeah. We'll get the call when we come back. Just
don't roll that back. That's a score worth winning any game. I know there's still plenty of time to be played, but
I don't know what noises came out of me there when that happened. But that was it was the unexpected nature of the deep pass. I was just not expecting that to be the call.
Just the Marco Tardelli, like the primal roar.
What a great celebration that was. Who was the one who did a very similar celebration in 2006 for Italy when they scored in the semi-final against Germany? I can't remember.
Oh, another one you're talking about. I can't remember. Brian, this is your time to shine.
20 years ago. Can't remember.
The World Cup.
2006, 20 years ago.
You were wearing your red jumper.
Not that day, I wasn't. No. Italy won that World Cup, didn't they?
Craig said, booty call, all caps. Kieran Donovan, bootylicious, all caps. Take as many headlines as you want. Be interested to know what the Boston Herald's headline tomorrow morning will be, if that does turn out to be the winning play, of course.
Booty grab, surely. Booty grab.
Booty grab, because of the one-handed.
Yeah.
Nice. You see, this is newspaper business would be there for you if it was kind of still a thing.
Who will be the favourites for that game next week? Broncos, Patriots. Broncos by default
already.
Patriots with the Broncos down to their back.
They're up by 11 points in the fourth quarter. I think it's fair to say it's unlikely that the Texans.
Just not over.
I don't want to look too far ahead.
It's never over yet.
I'd say Patriots will be favourites. Broncos playing Jared Stidham, like that's a complete unknown.
It'd be interesting to see.
Now, as I heard Greg Rosenthal saying on the Around the NFL, what used to be the Around the NFL podcast, Freudian slip there, NFL Daily as it's called now. Jared Stidham, they renewed his contract. Like he's been in the building for 3 years, so it's not like he doesn't know the offense, and it's not like he's not going to be able to man that Broncos offensive unit. Like he knows what he's doing, and the organization has faith in him. He's one of the highest paid backup quarterbacks in the league, so they have faith in him, and he knows they have faith in him.
With very little footage of note in the last 2 or 3 years that the Patriots, assuming the Patriots take care of business here and close out this game, they're going to be going back rehashing content from the 1 or 2 games in which he would have played over the course of the last 2 or 3 years.
Stidham, let's not forget, was drafted in the 4th round by the New England Patriots and was a backup for 2 years before he went. I don't know where he went before Denver. I think was it Chicago? I don't remember where it was in Chicago.
No,
not that I know Jason Stidham's career especially well.
So is that his way? You might want to give the guys that thing's going to turn up.
I'm going to say our TV is after giving us a 5-minute warning.
We're okay. Oh, it counts, Shane. No surprise.
I thought they were playing. Extra point.
It's gone through. Look for a second.
The touchdown stays. 28-16 in favor of the New England Patriots.
That's the drive, isn't it, Connor? That's the one you reflect on the game and say.
That's the Patriots needed one deep killer play. I didn't think it would come in the form of a touchdown, but that's what I was saying. Like McDonagall trying to get within 10 yards within the red zone, just trying to punch it in, wasn't going to work against this Houston defense. Something big had to come. I think a lot of guts to call it on a 3rd down and 6 when in the particular situation they were in. I think it might have actually caught some of the Houston guys off by surprise because they didn't quite get as much pressure on May as they have been quite successfully over the course of the rest of the game. So
kind of felt like that similarity to the Broncos one at the end of the first half last night where they knew they were in field goal range. Let's take a shot here. Let's try to get a touchdown. Let's try.
But again, you talk about coaching confidence in your quarterback to get it done. And as we said with Sean Payton last night, even if it's not happening all the time for Bo Nix, and the same for the Patriots here for Josh McDaniels. Like, we know you have this in your locker. We know you can go out and win the game for us. Go out and do it, kid.
I'll be honest. There's 2 reasons why I wanted the Patriots to win. Obviously, because
you're a fan.
I was like a Patriots fan, but also the article I have to write next week previewing the AFC Championship game is a lot easier to write when you know it's a rematch of the 2016 AFC Championship game. One of the first games that I watched, my parents got Sky Sports the first time. I so vividly remember watching on my Xbox upstairs, and that missed point after attempt as the Denver Broncos ended up.
So I'm right in saying that AFC Championship game for Super Bowl 50 was the Patriots at the Broncos. The Broncos won. The Broncos went to Santa Clara, won Super Bowl 50 against the Panthers.
Correct.
And there's so many permutations that in terms of rematches of Super Bowl. You're not in the picture here, Connor, but just allow me to carry on with this. There's a scenario where we get a Seahawks Patriots rematch with the Malcolm Butler interception. Yeah. We're talking about a Rams Patriots potential rematch, only not years removed from when the 13-3 game. What else we got?
Bears Patriots,
Seahawks Broncos. Yep. The safety, the first play of the game with the safety.
Yeah. The madness of MetLife.
Anything else? And of course the Bears and the Bears Patriots Super Bowl 20.
Have you ever heard Joe Buca and Troy Aikman talking about calling that Broncos Seahawks Super Bowl?
No.
Joe Buck said they asked, I can't remember what pod he was on. I think it was a Barstool one, and they said, look, was there ever a time when before the game you were like, oh, something's bad going to happen to this team? And they were like, yeah, that Super Bowl, we went in and we spoke to the Seahawks and went into the Broncos, and the Broncos looked all over the place when we were just doing the broadcast, and Joe and Troy turned to each other and goes, the Seahawks are going to absolutely murder these guys tomorrow. And that's exactly what happened.
So we went to the bookies and we put the house on.
Speaking of putting the house down, they're putting the house on this play. Didn't quite make the catch. No flags.
He looked like he was going into his pocket there.
Were you telling us that there were no flags, Shane, or were you trying to will that into existence?
I'm telling us no flags, just with a very expressive manner like this.
I think he was going to get his flag, and then he realised that the Patriots had it said to me, "You're not going to have a flag."
Would you stop? Interesting one by that.
Not in the script. It's not in the script.
Kieran Wright is saying, I'd love to play Shane at poker. I have an expressive face. I don't play poker anymore. I used to. And there's the reason why. I feel like everyone was able to read me easily.
Dragging out.
And then, Kieran, let's just say I wouldn't waste your time applying to be on the traders. Yeah, I wouldn't be quite good at turning around and being like, you? Yeah, I wouldn't be quite good at being like, oh no, I've been faithful all along.
That was a blatant flag, wasn't it? That wasn't called. I mean, on the other side of the field, the replay in which they shown there, that was a standout flag. Did you see that one, Shane?
I didn't, because unfortunately our TV just came up with a big thing.
Arsene Wenger over here. I didn't see the play myself. It was quite far away on the other side of the studio.
Right. Yeah, Arsene Wenger over here. Yeah,
the remote or something around. No,
you need to tell the guys. Yeah. Trying to take a break. Just a break here. Maybe we take a break here.
Right, we're going to take a quick 30-second break to make sure our TV doesn't turn off. We'll be back in just a minute.
This is your chance to experience the NFL like never before. The Irish NFL show is touching down stateside, and we want you on the team. Explore iconic football towns: Chicago, Green Bay, New York, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and make memories with fellow Irish NFL fans on the trip of a lifetime. We've partnered with Bernard Hayes Travel, a trusted travel partner with over 30 years experience. We look after everything: flights, accommodation, transfers, match tickets, social events, and everything in between. An unforgettable experience. Picture yourself in the stands at Soldier Field, Lambeau, or MetLife, roaring on your team. Register your interest today at irishnflshow.com/tours. Don't just watch the game, live it. Well, welcome back. We got the Texans on fourth down here with the decision to make. Brian, what way do you think they're going to go?
Well, I think they'll have to go for it at this stage. In terms of the clock, where are we at? We're 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, down by 12 points. If they punt it back...
Only two timeouts.
All right, 2 timeouts. If they punt it back, all you're going to look for is a methodical drive in the game, essentially. So I think they're not no man's land, but I think at this stage they're going to go for it. But
funnily enough, like I was going to say, you can still not, based on, again, how good your defense is. I know they've given up 28 points, but that's not on anything that the Texans defense hasn't done. I think they're perfectly capable of, if they have to.
I don't think they've got 2 drives in them to score two touchdowns, which is essentially what they're going to have to get. Like where earlier on, it was a 5-point game. you're saying, okay, fair enough. Because even there's a chance where you get 2 drives, 2 field goals, you find yourself going in front, albeit by just the 1 point. Because of the precarious situation they're in now, 12 points down, very little offense all day. They need something to kickstart. I think they have to go for it at this stage.
Just going to have a quick check-in on some of our YouTube comments. Just Aaron H. Some of this quarterback play this weekend will rival the QBs in the Irish League. I've seen the QBs in the Irish League, and they're also quite... some of them can be quite turnover friendly.
Be nice to them.
What?
Be nice.
I know. Shout out, by the way, to members of the Cork Admirals, which I know are tuning in as well, and to the Belfast Trojans, who I believe have announced this week that they will be competing in the 2026 Central European Football League, which is a pretty big step up to see Irish American football being played on a European international stage. We wish you the best of luck for the rest of your season. But back to this game here, I have to say, I mean,
you're sitting pretty.
Well, the Patriots are sitting pretty. The Texans obviously need to get something here. I think it's frustrating from their point of view. I'm just trying to see what way you look at this if you're a Texans fan, in terms of how well it looked in the start of the second half in terms of clean passes, clean running. It seemed to be getting back on track. So something big has to happen here now. And I wonder whether CJ Stroud is going to start forcing himself to go for those big home run shots in the way that we kind of saw Drake may do here. And if that makes it either Houston more dangerous or they're more vulnerable to being picked off, history would suggest they would be probably more vulnerable being picked off.
They're going to punt it. Judging by the formation on the field that we can see there, it looks like they're punting it.
Yeah, Texans are about to punt.
Agree, Connor?
I do,
Well,
yeah. Like I said just before they went to the break there, while we were trying to figure it out, there's still plenty of time. You got 2 timeouts. Your defense has been playing well enough.
One timeout now. And that's back to the point you made earlier about taking timeouts early in the second half, and it's not.
Whoa! Look at that punch.
Oh yes.
Oh, all the way down to the 3-yard line.
Well, now you got them backed up right in the end zone.
Say, this is pick 6 territory
That's
here
a
now.
Fantastic play. He never gave up on the ball.
That's what it would require, though. Is like teams. You said, yeah. Special teams for special players.
Yeah. But that's a really nice job. The Texans, when they have had to punt on special teams, have done a really good job in fairness to them. Again, something in their defensive nature does very good at trying to keep the Patriots as far back in that field as possible. So, I mean, this is the thing. Like, the danger zone now for the Patriots is a fumble in the wrong spot, a pick off in the wrong spot, a pick 6 in the way that the Patriots benefited from a pick 6 in the second quarter, could go against them in the fourth. So the danger, I know you're saying here, look, I'm a fan and maybe I'm being too pessimistic or worried about some way for the game to go against them. But with 12 minutes left to go, I mean, we really aren't out of the woods yet. Just asking a Green Bay Packers fan.
But to the point we were making earlier on about the Rams and their special teams failures, and the Packers are probably one that could sing from that hymn sheet as well. These things matter because in a game of inches, every phase of the game is going to be important in contributing to whether or not you win or lose. This guy with no shirt on, what are you doing?
Yeah. Should be giving
I had to put my cardigan on for the second half in studio.
Giving his parents,
just watching
his parents a call and say, "Are you aware?"
Child services will be on for child protection there.
Look at the rushing yards: 74 for the Patriots, 48 for the Texans. I mean, it's just.
And most of those Texans have been in the second half.
10 of which have come from their quarterback.
Coming back, running again. Oh, that's a nice break.
That's a huge first down. This is back to the point I was making. If you punt it, you run the risk of allowing them to just methodically work their way down the field. Okay, they're way off going down to score, but the clock continues to tick.
Yeah,
you've only got 1 timeout left. It's all leading now towards the Patriots winning this game.
The clock is now New England's friend, the way that it's going here, especially with that run game being better. The offensive line working better on the last few run plays here, so interesting to see.
Well, if you're going to be running the ball like that, if that's a precursor of what's going to happen on this drive, then it is game over.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's really strong stuff.
They're going to get worn down. The Texans defense has played so well over the course of the game. At some stage, it's going to have to crack. You can't just.
This is to that point, being a difference between a team coming off a Sunday game and a Monday game. Is this the moment where the Texans defense, who've had to play such hard physical football in Pittsburgh last week and are going on the road again, is this where the energy gap starts to make a difference in favor of New England when they're trying to do this run game against the Houston defense, who's shown themselves to be in such good light over the course of the year? They're starting to finally come back here because the Patriots just have that bit more energy to run the ball.
The Patriots offense wasn't on the field for large parts of the second half. So
yeah, very good point.
This is the great, Aaron Schatz, the great analytics guy, has this expression: you don't win because you're running, you run because you're winning. This is why teams that want to go deep,
nice.
proper contenders, have to be able to run the ball, because when you need to bleed the clock to see out a game, it's the only way to do it.
And some really a good running play. The Patriots getting exactly what they need from everything. Interesting enough, almost all of them going to the right-hand side. I don't know if they're just avoiding having Will Campbell to be the one that's creating the gaps, and realize that their stronger part of the offensive line is on the right-hand side. That's where the runs have all been going so far.
At this stage, you don't put the ball back in Drake May's hands in terms of throwing passes. It's not necessary. Until he has to continue to run the ball, run it down their throats.
Well, run it until they stop it. Exactly. They ain't stopping it.
They've been getting that. How many? I'd love to know how many yards have been averaging per run in this drive. It must be about 6 or 7. No, didn't mean it that time. But it must be. It must be a pretty decent return on amount of running. So
they're averaging 3.9 for the game so far, but like you say, on this drive, it seems to have been much higher than that. I mean, interestingly, Stevenson is now up to 5.7 a carry, 57 on 10 carries.
Oh, they're stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They needed that, but we're in a third down position, third down play now. So now you're going to have to ask them to throw the ball, aren't you? Unless you're comfortable running the play.
Well, you could do the old Ben Johnson, run it on third down. I mean, Johnson will run the ball on 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 7, and you establish a pattern of doing it, then you're actually keeping the team guessing.
On their toes, yeah.
But obviously, we're not in 4th down territory here.
But I think there is a scenario where why shouldn't you run the ball? Because look at the clock.
You've taken a good 3-4 minutes off the clock already.
It's more the fact that running the ball here. Superb. Diggs, again, with a big physical catch at a big moment when you really need it. That's the kind of player he has been for the Patriots over the course of the season. There was one moment, I remember, against away to the Cincinnati Bengals, where I remember he was completely silent for most of the game, and it comes up with the big play at moments when you really need it to get it in clutch. So that's been
just a perfect play. All you're doing there is finding a position to get the first down, move the
chains,
move yourself on, move the chains, continue to eat that clock. It's exactly what the drive they needed to win this, to pull this out.
This is you could end up down at the 2-minute warning the way they're driving now. And it's game over then.
Back to the run game again. Stevenson getting tackled behind the line. See, amazing. As soon as Stevenson goes to the left, he gets tackled behind the line. That's you can tell there's a strong side and a weak side to that offensive line the way they've been playing today.
Well, in fairness, he didn't have a chance. The offensive line was.
Do you think it hurts less when you get hit by a guardian cap guy? Like, I know the guardian caps are there to prevent the person making the tackle or protect the person making the tackle. Do you think it hurts less when you're at least getting the padded hit?
I suppose it would. I mean, imagine that's...
Or did they drive at it harder because they got the padding?
When I look at that, and maybe it's a size thing, it looks like it must really make your head go more off balance than the helmet would. Because I
don't understand, and it obviously hasn't impacted him at all, how Romeo Dobbs can wear it as a receiver. It must be hard enough to get your head around and locate the ball with the helmet on. So,
how heavy is the guarding cap, I wonder? Anybody who plays American football, let us know.
It's more awkward than it has to restrict your ability to twist your head around and locate the ball.
Let's get the answer in here. One of the guys out there is going to put it in.
It's how heavy a guarding cap is. Oh, they're cooking. The comments haven't quite come in yet. Maybe it's not quite as clear cut as we as suppose. We're under 6 minutes now for the Patriots. 3rd and 8. They're passing for it again, going deep on the left-hand side.
No,
couldn't quite get it done. So this is going to be punt territory to try and put.
They went off the last one.
There's one of my favorite. Sorry, my least favorite NFL tropes. Doing the little celebration. You're 12 points down. Never mind putting your sword away. Put the Patriots away before you start celebrating.
Earlier in the season, I think it was the Titans game. They were down by 30 points there. No, probably extreme. Probably down by 24 points, and they're playing 4 minutes to go in the game, and they bury a running back behind the line of scrimmage. And it wasn't Simmons, but it was one of the other players up. And he's celebrating like he's just scored the winning touchdown.
Drives me mad.
And I looked at it and said, I could guarantee now Connor will be pulling his hair out.
And I was.
We have a craic stat, by the way. It's anywhere between 11.9 and 14 ounces, depending on the size and how much padding is in a guardian cap.
What's that in metric?
14 ounces is about a pound.
It's 2.26 grams per ounce, isn't it? So What's that? Like
What are you
20,
asking me for?
whatever.
What's
35.
I see.
40,
They're just
Or
talking about
350, sorry, whatever it is.
as everyone's probably watching the same coverage. Indiana, Miami tomorrow, national championship. I believe the Raiders are sending the brass to this game. Obviously, it looks inevitable he will be the first pick of the draft. In Mendoza going to Vegas to be the Raiders quarterback. We've been to Vegas for a Super Bowl, Connor. Will Mendoza be partying hard?
That stadium had
I don't think he's a party hard.
that stadium had a roof on it, Shane. Allegiant Stadium has a roof on it. It was lovely, climate controlled. You would have
Yes.
loved. You would have loved it.
Allegiant Stadium. We said that's in a desert. You're trying to keep yourself away
It was
from the
very
desert
cold
heat.
throughout the week, wasn't it?
Well, it was one of the days was nice and warm, but it was very, very cold at night, obviously.
Yeah, we went. I know we're getting away from the game, but we went to the Spear, and I really loved the Spear. I did. I really enjoyed it. We went to U2 in the Spear.
Oh, was it a beautiful day?
It was a beautiful day, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Texas here. Snow's coming down.
Look,
It's slightly
Patriots
hard at
fans
Texas trying
in
to come back.
Foxborough and around the States will think it's a beautiful day, no matter what the
Oh, don't care.
circumstances.
Don't care what the weather is. If it's if it's winning.
You two
football,
played the halftime show at the Super Bowl when the Patriots won after 9/11, didn't they?
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. It was funny when you read the book, The Dynasty by Jeff Benedict. There's a whole
Great
chapter.
book. Yeah,
there's a whole
read it.
chapter on that halftime show.
And how Bono spoiled the quarterback controversy.
Yeah, but as well as that, I mean, how they were talking about apparently. I can't remember what the song. I think it's When the Streets Have No Name. They were talking about how Bono was asked to put in a commercial. He was like, "No, because I have to have that song because that is when God comes in the building." And he was like, "When I sang that song in the Super Bowl halftime show, I felt God in the building." I'm like, "All right."
Bono said that, did he?
But Bono said that. Yeah,
But you know the story about the quarterback controversy at the time. Obviously, was whether they'd bring
Brady or Bledsoe.
Yeah. Bledsoe back, because Bledsoe would have to fill in for Brady against the Raiders when they won the championship game after Brady goes down injured, and Bledsoe does a great job. And Bledsoe had been the starting quarterback at the start of the season before he got injured, and Bono was talking to Robert Kraft to let it slip that they were going to start Brady in the Super Bowl, and Bono mentioned it in one of the press availabilities. So it was
right.
Bono who revealed to the world that Tom Brady would be starting the Super
broken
Bowl.
up. Nicely done by Gonzalez there.
Was that from the? Wasn't a particular piece from the Patriots series from a couple of years ago when they spoke about
The Dynasty series.
Dynasty series.
The hagiography on Apple TV.
Yeah, so the Dynasty book and the Dynasty series are now.
It was very lopsided.
They're both quite craft friendly, but the TV series is
lopsided
very
is-
craft friendly.
Yeah.
Must be said. I like the book. I wouldn't watch the series again. We did a podcast series on the.
It wasn't
TV
a
series
huge
at the time.
amount about Aaron Hernandez literally killing two people in the
Sure.
TV series. Somehow that ended up on the cutting room floor.
Sure, Netflix did that. Big sack by there against Stroud.
I think
Netflix did that series. It was grand.
even on fourth down and forever, they still have to go for it, don't they?
Yeah, geez, you kind of do now, don't you?
I was going to punt it.
What?
You're surrendering the game.
Punting it.
It's 4th and 18.
Yeah, but I mean,
No
come on.
timeouts
Like,
left.
do you want to be in the dance or not? Like, you have to try. I know if you mess it up, then the game is over. But the game is kind of over anyway at this stage.
I think he is. That's.
I'm coming around to your way of thinking, Brian.
They've only got one timeout left.
You got to
So-
run it back. Go on, Marcus.
Well, he's trusting his defense to make a turnover. I think that's the only thing.
See,
I can
that
say.
was really nice, and that he must have wasted about 4 seconds there as well
Running
from
across
running
the field. I
laterally.
was thinking that, yeah, as he was going, just milk the clock.
400 grams, by the way, is what roughly 14 ounces.
Well, I said 350, didn't I?
350 to 400 between the 12 and 14 ounce mark. In fairness, he just already hasn't thrown an interception in the second half.
It's been at least 20 minutes since CJ Stroud threw an interception. To be fair.
In all fairness, though.
Despite
For anybody who is in the comments, by the way, let us know about what you think could happen between tonight as the Rams play against the Bears. Interested to know your thoughts on the late game. And as well as that, are you staying up for it? The 11:30 kickoff is slightly unusual from our time zone because some people just don't bother staying up for the 1:30 kickoff. Obviously, it's a bit later than the late window in the traditional red zone thing. So I wonder if people might...
The 11:30 kickoff is a real, like, it tempts you in, doesn't it? You think, I'll just watch the first quarter. And next thing you know, it's 4 a.m. in the morning. And you're thinking, how am I going to get through work today?
I'm definitely going to, by the time I get home here, I'd say I'll be midway through the second quarter, but I'm never going to try and stay up for it. And I think eventually I'll look at the bed, but then I'll come back over and Caleb Williams will do something crazy. I'm like, I just have to stay.
11:37 kickoff. Shane, I know.
First, I thought I was out, and they pulled me back in.
I know the way they always say it's 11:30 or it's 1:30 or 4:30, and then, but it's never really like last night. 1:00 in Seattle. It's not going. Well, it was delayed last night because of overtime, but it was always 1:07 kickoff.
Yeah.
Why the quirkiness on that particular time is I assume for TV.
Advertising. That's your peak advertising bit. Everybody comes in for the 1 a.m. kickoff, and you hit them with another 6 minutes of ads.
Yes, of course.
I mean, it's almost as crazy as the 6 o'clock news being at 6:01 because they have to do advertising for the Angelus. Do you know what I mean?
You're just talking about God coming in the building. God comes in the building when the Angelus are on.
You can't beat a good Angelus. You can't beat when I used to work in the print desk, so you always work late. So 6 o'clock, you always hear the Angelus on the TV, and someone always go, "What time is it?" And there's always one sorry sucker that's like, "It's 6 o'clock," and everyone starts laughing at him. Oldest gag in the book, but it was a gift that kept on giving. Nice to see Robert Kraft and John the Kraft sitting amongst each other and not sitting beside the president of FIFA this week. They're able to just focus on the football in front of them.
That's what was there with him on Monday, wasn't it?
Yeah, Gianni was there.
Sorry, Sunday Night Football last week. Yeah.
16 of 26 with Drake made today, 179 yards. Still not fantastic, but 3 touchdown passes. So
it's only one interception.
Yeah, I mean the turnovers haven't really come necessarily from his hands. They've come from elsewhere. Do I do a shout out for the YouTube comments on whether the Patriots or the Broncos will win next week? Is it too early to?
I think it's safe to say you can probably
you're good to go there.
All right, then. Who do you think is going to win next week between the New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos?
What I'm intrigued to find out is who's the favorite for the game. If anybody is tuning in, listening to us here, could they check and passing the comment around what the early line is on the game, whether it's QuinnBet in particular or various different outlets. If they could just check, I'm intrigued to see. It'll probably sit under the hypothetical matches right now because it isn't confirmed. But
the SEC matches, the hypotheticals. That's
I'm going to take a punt. I'm going to guess it's the Broncos -3 or 2.5. I think they'll give them the grace of a field goal.
Look at that weather. That's beautiful.
Let's see.
Why would you need a roof in the stadium? That's just tremendous stuff. Proper Massachusetts weather there. Again, look, the Patriots still are able to run out the clock. The Houston don't have any more timeouts to burn. 2-minute warning is the only thing that's kind of keeping them upright. But I mean, it would be nice at the Patriots' point of view just to get it done. So physically they're not wearing themselves out for a trip to Mile High Stadium next week. If that is the way it finishes up, knock out my chickens yet.
I think it's fair to say it's pretty much it's not a foregone conclusion, but we are inevitably going to see another Patriots Broncos AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So earlier on, Craig put in 2 graphics for the AFC lineup into the chat, and I told him to delete the Houston Texans one. I hope you have, Craig. You're not going to need it. We need to start playing Crazy Train now as well. You know, all the Patriots walkout music from the,
What's this wee business, Paleface? Like, we're not on the Patriots bandwagon.
Why not?
You can play Crazy Train in your own time.
You're just seeing Drake.
Hopefully it's going to be Sweet Home Chicago after we get done.
Don't you want to see somebody who's an actual starting quarterback playing the Super Bowl?
I do.
Who though?
Caleb Williams, Matthew Stafford, Sam Darnold. So Jake May's the only one left in the AFC.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So from the AFC side of things, wasn't it a better Super Bowl if we were in instead of Denver?
But maybe it was just fate that the Broncos would come back after Super Bowl 50. It was in Santa Clara. Super Bowl 60. It's in Santa Clara. Like the Broncos fans,
it's our time to come back.
And they beat the Patriots. Like it's literally falling into the exact same scenario as 10 years ago. And the way it's looking like it's going to evolve is that we'll see how Jared Stidham does next weekend if they do overcome the Patriots. The fact that even in that Super Bowl against the Panthers, it wasn't Peyton Manning that won that game. It was primarily their defense.
Very defense heavy.
And you'd wonder, is that the kind of scenario that we're going to be leading up to? What I would say, no matter who plays in the Super Bowl from the AFC, whether it's the Patriots, whether it's the Broncos,
the NFC is going to win.
Seahawks can do damage offensively. The Bears certainly can do damage offensively. The Rams can do offensively. Whoever comes out of the NFC will be favourites to win the Super Bowl. Would you agree?
I've been saying this for months that whoever wins the NFC is going to win a Super Bowl. I've never really looked at any of these teams in the AFC, even the Bills, and people had a very high expectation of and saying, look, that whoever came to the NFC can't maybe not wipe the floor with them, but certainly have their way with them as much as possible. And if you think about it, if it is one of the West Coast teams, and I'm not jumping over
but it's
Chicago.
Broncos Patriots, the two teams who had the softest schedule in the NFL this season. There's no coincidence that they're the ones who are heading for the AFC Championship game. The schedule lined up brilliantly for them. You can only beat the teams that are out there in front of you, and that's what they've done. And Patriots fans will be jumping at me saying we're just putting a beat down on the Texans, who've won 10 games in a row and are literally the hottest team in the NFL, and that's absolutely fair. They've gone and navigated two very tricky games in the playoffs to put themselves in a position now to be one step away from the Super Bowl. So, like, good luck to them. But I do think, to your point, any of those teams that comes out of the NFC mops up whoever comes out.
Yeah,
of the
100%. That is my feeling now. Of course, we still see 2 rounds of games being played from the NFC side of things. But I still think any of those NFC sides are just have a greater breadth of quality. And if it is the Seahawks or the Rams, they're in a building that they're familiar with as well, in a time zone they're familiar with as well. Just going back on the favorites point. So we need some sort of music to ring every time Craig says in a stat or anything like that. No spread yet, but Patriots are 4-9 favorites, Broncos 9-5. Oh, sorry, he followed up then. The current spread is Patriots by 4.5. 4.5.
I told you the Patriots would be favorites.
That's a big line.
That's a big line, I think.
Favourites to go into Mile High.
It's not a big line for a team playing with a quarterback who hasn't played a single snap in the regular season.
Drake May hasn't played like the kind of football.
I guess I'm looking from the fact of what I've seen tonight. You would look. Don't get me wrong. Patriots are going to win this game. The Patriots haven't been compelling either in their performance.
Living, go on. Keep forgetting Bon Jovi, even though he's from John Bon Jovi. He was from New Jersey. He's a Patriots fan.
No, that shout really knocked out my ear socket there, Shane.
I'll turn it down.
Who's your favorite celebrity Patriots fan? Is it Mackie Mac or is it?
No, because he walked out of a Super Bowl. I don't, because he always talks about, oh, I went to Super Bowl 51 and I walked out and I'm raging on it. Stick with it. Doesn't matter what the situation is in the Super Bowl. He didn't stick with it. I stayed up and watched it. I wasn't at the Super Bowl, but we stick with it. Oh, Marky Mark turned around.
I went to bed. I went to bed before the end of that one. That's another thing me and Marky Mark have in common.
Elton John's apparently a Patriots fan.
The Falcons 28-3 game.
Yeah.
I was out in a public house, so I said I might as well.
As per.
And I would always have gone out for the Super Bowl prior.
That's why Brian hasn't seen any films, because he actually has a social life. He's out there. He's out there in the world.
Schedule.
Couple of terms at the University of Life.
He's also spending too much time on planes or going over X and O's and game film, as opposed to watching.
Well, the rest of us listening to the playlists and watching movies.
Yeah. I've got loads of preparation and paperwork ahead for Conor when he gets on the plane out to San Francisco. He thinks he's going to have a light touch 11-hour flight, relax, watch a few movies. I'll be handing him a playbook.
I've already need to get towards putting together our Bible of all different stats and everything in face picks towards names and colleges and all that kind of thing. I'll have plenty of in-flight reading, and then I'll watch the Chevy Chase documentary at some point. It's unusual about the Texans, though. I mean, it was funny. I think I was making the point during the week that since the Houston Texans have been founded in 2002, they have 6 playoff wins. In the same time period, the Dallas Cowboys have got 4. But yet, they are still the only team to have never played in a conference championship game. They're now 0-6 in the division.
Well, you heard the Bills stat after last night. So the Bills have won at least one playoff game for 6 straight seasons. They're the only team that's ever done that in NFL history without winning a championship game and at least playing for a Super Bowl.
I think, was there some stat as well, teams who have won, the last 4 teams who have won 5 or playoff games in 5 consecutive years, whatever, were the Chiefs, who won 3 Super Bowls in that period, the Patriots, who won 3 Super Bowls in that period, and the Cowboys, who won 3 Super Bowls in that period. And the Bills haven't even played in one, which is just a remarkable stat. And
they are the Mayo of the NFL. God bless them. Like, they're absolutely snake bit.
I just wonder whether there's some kind of curse in their stadium. Maybe a new building next year might bring them some different kind of life. Ooh, another bad mispass from Bryant there. D'Amico Ryans. He must feel frustrated because he's coached.
This is the game right here. whatever dwindling hopes the Texans might have had of coming into it, it's all on this play now.
The final
Turn it over on
moments,
downs, and you are done.
4th down, 4 yards to go. This doesn't go over, and the New England Patriots have fully sealed their way
It's victory
into the
formation
AFC
after
Championship
this.
game. Interesting to see what way to go here. And it's a timeout Patriots, just to completely kill the suspense we've been building up. Does Mike Vrabel not have any respect for the watch-along? We were trying to build up to what was the final moment.
He just wants to make sure everyone's set and in position and he can close out the game. He's not going to be concerned about young man.
You should be thinking about us. No? I have to say, though, it was interesting. Like, I was in London last year, and we got to see the Patriots throw the ball around, and we got to see them play against the Jaguars in a game which they had a decent start, completely collapse. And Gerard Mayo came out in the press conference afterwards and really went after his team and called them a soft football team. It was interesting because at that moment, you could hear all the Boston media, who are used to being absolutely stonewalled by Bill Belichick for 20 years, just in unison leaned forward in the chairs. What did he say? He just called them a soft football team. And the following week, they went out and beat the Jets. But if you had told me at that point that the following season, this group of players will be in the AFC Championship game, I wouldn't have believed it.
He caught it. No.
Incomplete. And the Patriots win. The game is over. The New England Patriots against all odds. I actually cannot believe that. I still can't believe that.
Even in the final play that sums up that Texans offense today. Not able to pull in.
Do we wave the towels?
No, we
wave
don't
the
wave towels. We
Come
don't
on.
wave towels.
Playing crazy train, wave the towels. This not the celebratory moment.
I was laughing, though, as you were talking about the Patriots in the hour of their passion with everything falling apart around them and Gerard Mayo losing the locker room, but they still went out and beat the Jets. Jets are so bad.
Yeah. You say that the final game of the Bill Belichick era was a loss in Foxborough to the New York Jets.
And the Jets had waited years to beat the Patriots.
Years.
And it meant nothing in the end. It was the most irrelevant win the Jets have had probably for years. And I remember, because I know so many Jets fans, and they talk year in year out about, if only we could beat the Patriots, if only we could beat the Patriots. They go and beat them. It's Bill Belichick's last game, and nobody cared.
Well, this is a very relevant win. Never mind the irrelevant wins, because it sends the New England Patriots once again back to an AFC Championship game. Mike Vrabel, the prodigal son, comes back, turns around from 4-13 to 13-4, and now they go to Mile High Stadium to play the Denver Broncos for a chance to head to Santa Clara and play for the Super Bowl itself, play for the Vince Lombardi, which would be... How many Super Bowls is this for? Their 11th Super Bowl now, would it?
The Patriots have already played in 11.
Their 12th, sorry.
It will be the 12th, yeah. Now, here's a nice stat for you. The Patriots have never beaten a team from the NFC North in the Super Bowl. Out of all the 6 we've won against teams that are... we've lost 2 against teams who are currently in the NFC North. Being
NFC Central back then, yeah.
The NFC Central back then. But I think that's it. I think it's time to wrap it up.
Good night, everyone. Enjoy Bears Rams if you're staying up for that. And thanks for joining us for our first ever playoff watch along on the Irish NFL Show.